going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching Tru Heel Heat podcast.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with Tru Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
All right, hello, Tru Heel Heat. I'm the AEW World Champion, MJF. Just in case you're deaf, dumb, blind, stupid, or since you listen to this podcast poor, you're listening to Tru Heel Heat, and I apologize for that.
Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at Tru Heel Heat. Yeah!
You know, say what you will. Contributions are important in the world of pro wrestling. So when we lose something in pro wrestling that means a lot to us, we got to, reflect on that and remember everything that they contribute, whether it be years and years of matches that define the sport or, the impressions and the memories that we look back on. When we lose something, we got to remember. Got to take a deep breath, let it all in. You can mourn, you can grieve. You can think about, all the good times, all the bad times, all the ugly times. With saying all of that, TNA did it again, man. They're being buried. It's ridiculous. Hulk Hogan passed away too. Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3, and we are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for Tru Heel Heat 339 when it comes crashing down. Discussing the latest wrestling news, including the wrestling world still reacting to the passing of the immortal Hulk Hogan and reflecting on his polarizing legacy and controversy. We'll talk all about it on today's show. We also got a recap of this week in wrestling with WWE SmackDown featuring a Hulk Hogan tribute show. You had Raw on Netflix featuring a lot of different stuff on this week's show with Raw on Netflix with Roman Reigns going face to face with Paul Heyman. You had NXT featuring The Undertaker confronting Trick Williams. You had Evolve TNA Slammiversary featuring WWE NXT's Trick Williams and JC Jane walking out as champions. You also had a live Impact AEW Dynamite and Collision Dynamite featuring Hangman Adam Page challenging Jon Moxley to a rematch for the AEW World Championship. ROH TV NJPW G1 Climax 35 Week 1 completed this morning with a Konosuke Takeshita versus Shingo Takagi instant classic. You had Noah 25th anniversary with Kenta winning the GAC championship. You had STARDOM this week. You had RevPro, CMLL, and much, much more. And to do all of that, of course, I am joined by my esteemed colleagues. First up, we got the one and only Tru Draw himself. Josh, how are you feeling?
I must say that was one of your best intros of all time. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I tried my best. To be both endearing and sympathetic, about the loss this week of TNA. LOL TNA. Top guy JJ, how are you feeling? Surprising us this week. We didn't expect you to 2 weeks from now, and you're joining us this morning.
So I had a little bit of extra time. So I was like, what time y'all starting? I said 10. It's like, all right, cool. I'm not on for the whole show, but I'm on for almost half the show. So, crazy time. Companies is losing their moral high ground. They're sinking terribly. Other news has happened too. The King of Rock, like, jeez.
We had a lot of losses, especially when it comes to celebrities. Theo from the Cosby Show, Malcolm Jamal Warner, that was crazy. 54.
And then I was on the bus, and then I got this one, and then I continue playing Monopoly Go.
Understandable. I literally got wind of this literally on air as I was on Fightful Overbook with Jeremy Lambert, and I was just like, wow.
You tried.
Huh?
So you tried.
I did. I tried my best to hold my composure. And then we started thinking about all the people that could possibly come and say nice things about him. Thankfully, a lot of those people did put out tweets instead of having to be on camera and stuff like that. But we're going to talk all about that. Don't you worry. We appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all for watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping a thumbs up on this video. You can share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, you can sound off in the comment section down below if you're watching us on demand. If you are with us live, sound off in the live chat. We'll try to highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, and make sure your comment is highlighted on screen and we're able to talk about it. You can send a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate the support. We got Zach in the chat who wishes us good morning, everyone. We got Sofa Kid who says, hi, guys. Myron Kid was ready for today. He says, good morning. This morning's podcast should be a dandy. We got Davion here with us. Good to see you, brother. He says, good morning, everyone. Didn't catch any wrestling last night. Was out for birthday dinner. Let's get THH cracking. Happy birthday, Davion. Hope you enjoyed your birthday dinner, brother. We also got Eric Isaac, who goes through a lot of the names that we were mentioning that passed away this week. Good morning, THH fam. A sad week indeed, not only with Hogan, but to Malcolm Jamal Warner, Ozzy Osbourne, and Chuck Magny as well. 3 of those I was sad about. Nicky Boy, Negro Buck Nick Jackson says, morning, everyone. Anything interesting happened this week? Obvious sarcasm. Nicky Boy says, this should be an interesting show, ready to get the real from our hosts. You know that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. We're always going to keep it real. Blood Money says tomorrow is 5-star and pre-2025. Yes, I'm looking forward to the STARDOM version of the G1 Climax. Krssi Luv's not here yet, so she can't make a joke about climaxing. Chuck Berry says, good morning, THH fam. I had no idea that Terry Bollea was born in the same town as the late, great James Brown in Augusta, Georgia. That strangely adds up.
Might be the only time I've ever heard Terry and James Brown in the same sentence.
Very true. Very true. Seems like people liked my intro.
Fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. I went straight to the comment section, our private comment section, and just laughed at it. That was fantastic.
We got Fire Driver Finisher who says R.I.P. Ozzy Osbourne. We got Broadcast Activision who says condolences to Malcolm Jamal Warner and Ozzy's families. We also got Blood Money who says R.I.P. Hulkster. Thank you for everything what you've done in WWE and pro wrestling as whole. I saw trolls when Vince McMahon paying tribute to Hulkster and say, Vince McMahon, count your days. Oof. How did Vince outlive them?
He might outlive us.
I think he might outlive the cockroaches.
Yeah, he gonna be like the dinosaur that's like the only one in existence. It's gonna be a new form of humans, and it's still gonna be him wheelchairing or whatever. He still might be walking for all we know.
It's crazy. Blood Money saying Chelsea Green got the hate because of paying tribute to Hulk Hogan. I don't see AEW paying tribute to Hulk Hogan. They're getting heat for that. They're getting heat and hate for that too, but they banned Hulk Hogan. Why would they pay tribute to him? That'd be disingenuous. And Chelsea Green does not deserve any hate. She was asked on the spot to speak on television how these wrestlers, reflect or basically want to talk about Hulk Hogan. That is their choice. And 9 times out of 10, they're being paid by WWE to talk about him. So, of course, they're not going to put out all of their true feelings on everything. And Chelsea did her best to kind of talk about it on social media. And then all the social media trolls came at her. I don't think that she deserves it. And it's gotten to the point where she said that she's taking a break from social media because it can be so toxic.
Good for her, because it is.
It is. I posted a tweet saying that I was like, that's crazy work that he passed away on the 10-year anniversary of his racist rant being leaked. And I got someone who legit posted a picture of Trayvon Martin in response. That's the social media we're talking about, people. That's somebody's reaction to me just saying it's crazy.
What do you even say to that?
I didn't know. I just retweeted it and I was like, this is a normal reaction to me saying that it's crazy.
People, bro, this the things that people are able to just do in this, and these keyboard warriors, man, boy, get in their face though. They're ready to call the cops.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, you know that. Good to see you in the chat, Big Hero Chris, saying good morning, good brothers. We got our first super chat donation from the one and only Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says Malcolm Jamal Warner and Ozzy Osbourne also died, so I could say that Ethan through death that Terry Bollea wanted the spotlight for himself, but I won't. Oops, I guess I just did. I mean, that's slightly, your comment is slightly better than our producer, Baby Seth, who tweeted out, messaged us and said, damn, I guess he really was the third man behind Ozzy and Malcolm Jamal Warner.
He's the third man. Oh my God.
That I literally had to read that out on In the Weeds on Thursday after that show. I was like, that was the last thing I said on In the Weeds was that comment from Baby Seth. So thank you for that. That was incredible. We got Emmanuel Mulaney, who says, we made it to the weekend watching my guys talk some graps while eating some waffles. Hope you're enjoying your waffles, good sir. It's been a while since I had some waffles, so appreciate you. They don't make good waffles out here in the UK for some reason. That's not their thing. They like pancakes more. We got Call Me Mr. Bondo. Just went he went dark with it. He said a Satanist and a racist passed away this week, huh? And he puts the questioning emoji. So anyways, ZSJ slapped the piss out of El Phantasma and in the G1. I see you got your priorities straight, sir.
Hey, listen. This is going to be the most polarizing, conflicting, massive, opinionated weekend. You can't be mad at any of it. Almost, you really can't be mad at any of it. Honestly,
yeah, I agree. And I also agree with our his character is that of a Satanist. He wasn't an actual Satanist, Bonda. Just in case you're aware about Ozzy. Ozzy's not an actual Satanist. Unless you're talking about Hulk Hogan in both things, so I don't know about the first part. I know about the second part. We do have another super chat donation from Michael Allen Lewis. Thank you so much, Michael, for the support. He says, so I guess Bischoff gonna need to find a new third man.
Man, they need to just close that shit down. Bro, them niggas sold like 600 tickets, bro. Like, them niggas just need to shut down. Like, just cancel it. Give everybody their $20 back because they ain't even gonna be able to pay their people. Just cancel it. Just get rid of it. Throw it all away. Just throw it away. Let something else go into that building.
Yeah.
Let a circus show go in there. They'll sell more tickets.
This is true. Ringling Brothers would sell out the joint. Yes, I got to give credit to Volop, who had the best joke that I saw after Terrence from Florida, aka Terry Bollea, aka Hulk Hogan, passed away. He said he's going to be cremated because he will not allow anyone to bury him.
All of this fits. Like, it's so fitting. It just all fits. And who's gonna have to cremate him? The Undertaker? He's the only person that he was allowed to lose to.
And then he worked the Undertaker at Survivor Series when he told him that he broke his neck on the tombstone. He said you worked me. He was acting like his neck was broken backstage. He
was gonna start that early on the bullshit.
Well, I'm just saying, there's a lot to go into.
There's so much.
You got me good, brother. You got me good, brother. We do have our fourth member of the team here with us, reporting live from the sky in front of a rainbow. The princess of all the true heels, Miss Krssi Luv.
Listen, I can't find.
And it's sunshine and rainbows.
So whatever format we used to have, my stuff was saved there. Now that SP done like have so many damn accounts and like people that be on here and whatnot, it's not here. So every time there's a new damn link, ain't shit here. I can't have an avatar. I can't have nothing. So This is what
our producer had your background.
Exactly. And he's like, oh, you should be able to get it. No, it's not doing it. I'm gonna send y'all a video so y'all know that I'm not lying, but whatever. Anyway, good morning, guys. Happening. How y'all doing? It's been a shitty week, you know.
It was because you was on vacation.
Say that again.
Gotcha.
I said because you was probably on vacation. That's
no. Why. This has been a while, but it's all right. This is way before vacation. I'm just like, you know, I really want my background, and I can't have it. But you know, it's all good. R.I.P. to Malcolm Jamal Warner. The other two guys, you know, whatever. But you know, it is what it is. Things happen.
No, whatever. A WWE Hall of Famer passed away this week, Miss Krssi Luv.
Well, both of them.
And no, I'm not talking about the other guy that's in our title. I'm talking about Ozzy Osbourne. He was a heavy. Hall of Fame. Yeah, he is in the Hall of Fame.
I didn't know that. Was he really?
Yes, he was in the WWE Hall of Fame. Yes. R.I.P. to Ozzy Osbourne, heavy metal music legend and Black Sabbath frontman. Ozzy Osbourne passed away this week. Per the Hollywood Reporter, Ozzy's family confirmed his passing in an official statement. Osbourne passed away earlier in the morning. I believe
I'm sure he said some shit too, so you know, it's whatever. Oh,
at 76 years old, the statement reads, "It is with more sadness than mere words can confine that we have to report that our beloved Ozzy Osbourne has passed away this morning. He was with his family and surrounded by love. We ask everyone to respect our family privacy at this time." Osbourne passed away just weeks after he performed his last show in Birmingham, England. And earlier this month, the show saw him reunite with his Black Sabbath band, where he was also joined by a star-laden lineup that also included Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, Steven Tyler. Black Sabbath also played a Back in the Beginning concert last month in England, where Osbourne took to his throne and also played some of his all-time classics, including Crazy Train and Iron Man. Osbourne was first inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as part of Black Sabbath in 2006. He later received his second induction as a solo artist in 2024. During his illustrious career, he sold more than 100 million records worldwide. He was inducted into the UK Music Hall of Fame, both for his work in Black Sabbath and as a solo artist as well. He'd been nicknamed Ozzy when he went to preliminary school, and after starting his music career, he would eventually be dubbed the Prince of Darkness. Some of Black Sabbath's classic tracks include hits such as War Pigs, Iron Man, and Mama I'm Coming Home. After recording 8 albums with Black Sabbath, Osbourne also embarked on a solo career featuring such classic songs as Crazy Train, Mr. Crowley, and Bark at the Moon. Osbourne and his family, where I most know him from, they became popular stars of reality television with the hit reality series The Osbournes, which debuted on MTV in 2002. The show ran 4 seasons and 52 episodes. The heavy metal rocker also had a long-time relationship with WWE, and he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame as part of the class of 2021. His legendary track War Pigs served as the theme for NXT TakeOver War Games on multiple occasions. Osbourne is survived by his wife Sharon and their daughters Amy and Kelly, as well as son Jack, also with his biological son Louis John, his adopted son Elliot Kingsley, and daughter Jessica Starshine from his first marriage with Thelma Riley. WWE also issued a statement about the Hall of Famer's passing, saying that WWE is saddened to learn that music icon and WWE Hall of Famer Ozzy Osbourne has passed away. He bursted onto the music scene in the 1970s, and his legendary tune War Pigs has served as the theme for NXT TakeOver War Games and Survivor Series War Games. After 8 incredible albums, Ozzy embarked on a solo career that catapulted into superstardom. Along the way, Osbourne made several stops into the WWE universe. His first came on the grandest stage of them all at WrestleMania 2, when he joined forces with Captain Lou Albano to manage the British Bulldogs as they captured the World Tag Team Championships. Ozzy returned several times in the 2000s, whether it was to perform his latest track or as a guest host for a memorable edition of Monday Night Raw that featured a highly entertaining superstar talent show Raw's Got Talent. A true legend in every aspect, Osbourne was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2021, and WWE extends its condolences to Ozzy's family, friends, and fans. Don't know much about his music. I do know his classic tracks. His classic tracks, you can just hear them. Either it's WWE or just a random bar that you go to. You'll hear some Black Sabbath or some Ozzy classic tracks. I most know him for the Osbournes. Osbournes was one of my favorite reality television shows in the 2000s.
That part. Didn't know who that nigga was until I seen that show.
And what did he say that got you upset, Krssi?
Not more so him as his shitty ass wife, but you know, it's whatever.
Yeah, his wife is full of shit. Yeah, but you can't judge him for what his wife said.
Sure. And we're not gonna judge Melania too, but we judge her as well, right? Just saying. Guilty by association.
Who that?
Melania Trump. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, to be fair. To be fair, she's kind of a dumbass on her own. So that's
we criticize her for being a dumbass, not for
her actions
what
do her
Donald
talking
says.
already.
Yeah. And
Her actions,
Ozzy,
they do the talking for her.
Ozzy, you can judge him for being crazy and a little bit of a nut job, but he's not liable for what his wife says.
I remember somebody this past week said that the Bats got their lick back because of that bat incident he had on stage.
True.
My missus hates AEW, and I love AEW. That don't mean that she doesn't love AEW because I say I love AEW. You get the, you know.
Fair points, people. Fair points. Fair points. But yeah. So, are you going to talk about the other shithead, or we?
I thought we was going to be in a good mood today with the sunshine and rainbows, but we just ready for the smoke early.
Because I think people are like, oh, so sad and like just so like, oh my god, like it's bad, yes, but like this really like.
Oh no, believe me, I believe me.
While I go through everything after what JJ and Josh got to say, when I go through everything about SmackDown, you can watch back the opening minutes of the show and saw how I opened.
I don't need to.
Maybe that will show you what vibe we're on today's show.
Oh, okay. So let me go. Okay, let me put myself on mute and go find. Let me go watch it. Hold on.
Yeah. It's literally just like the first like 2 minutes. His opening like minute. Yeah. You'll get it.
I'll be back.
Yeah, just skip through the intro, and then when you see me, you can press play. You got Nicky Boy, Buck, Nick Jackson saying glad that Ozzy got to have his final concert before he passed. He went out on his own terms, and most of us can only dream of that. He also donated the contributions to those concerts to charity, so that shows you he cares about other causes outside of himself.
I think I was hearing like something like, he was like really bummed that he didn't really like get to go out on his own terms, but then they had this concert and then he was able to like have like a last show. Yeah. So he was really like happy to like do this and like to have like one more like good like hurrah.
Yeah. Because he has
his final song was Mama, I'm Coming Home. His mom passed away.
I remember him. Okay, I remember that from the show. I do remember that, yes.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people don't know either is that he had Parkinson's disease.
Yeah.
Obviously when you have that basically complicates a lot. That's why Michael J. Fox, that's why he basically retired from acting because, it's a disease that you can't really control. And I think that's probably, when he passed away, people were shocked because they didn't hear much about Ozzy, but that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Especially when you hear he was surrounded by friends and family, so in a way they knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. Frantic World saying he bit a bat's head off on stage. Classic moment, indeed. I always remember that only because, like I said, I wasn't familiar too much with his career, wasn't listening to Black Sabbath or him when he was an artist, but I always remember they always used to have him eat bats' heads off when he would feature on Celebrity Deathmatch, another classic MTV show.
They did that at South Park. He bit Kenny's head off, and that was because of the bat thing.
Yeah,
that was a bad thing. I remember that.
Did anybody see the new South Park episode? Oh my god! Oh my god!
They started with a bang.
Yo,
I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that much.
Show is still going on.
Yes,
yeah, because they got a new streaming deal.
Only thing I will tell you, JJ, is you need to watch this episode because they have freaking. You remember, classic South Park. Who was one of like the main? Who's the main villain of the movie? Do you remember?
Was it Satan?
No, it was Saddam Hussein.
Oh, so yeah, okay.
They came back with the voice, with the characterization of Saddam Hussein, but guess who it is now? Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is fucking singing.
So spins back to Satan. Somehow spins back to Satan.
And Satan's like, you remind me of someone I used to go out with.
Oh my god. It's crazy because so what happened recently is that they got a new streaming deal with Paramount. So they were kind of in limbo for a while because of Max. They had a Max deal, but then their Max deal was running out. So they were kind of in limbo. So while they were in limbo, they did brand new episodes. And then, Paramount does have they had like some kind of thing going on with Donald Trump, some kind of settlement. So the fact that they even approved that episode, I was like, damn, guys, this is what we're doing now.
I was like, yo, I agree with Vala. That's an all-timer. Especially the ending, Josh. The ending, yo, my missus was just like, what the fuck am I watching?
That's what South Park used to be. It's what the fuck am I watching?
And now because it's on streaming, they're probably gonna be more even. They're more unfiltered because they're on streaming.
Yeah,
all right, that's good. That's good to know. That's good to know. Okay, all right. So sold. I'm gonna have to go check out. I'm gonna have to go check out some South Park now.
Michael Allen Lewis and Krssi stay on brand. I agree. We love Krssi for that always. We also got a super chat donation from our boy Chuck Berries once again, who says, all I have to say is that I cannot wait for Krssi to rant on Terry's upcoming Dark Side of the Ring review because I'm sure it will be epic.
Bro,
oh man, whatever they have planned for next season, they need to just adjust it.
Like 2 hours.
That's a two-part episode.
Yeah,
that's a 2-part episode, or even a 3-part episode. Honestly,
you could fucking do the whole season on him.
You can.
You can do the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s.
You could do unless his wrestling behind the scenes stuff in WWE, his wrestling behind the scenes stuff in WCW, his wrestling behind the scenes stuff in TNA. Then you could do
literally an episode a decade.
You could, because he got the 80s in WWE, he's got the 90s in WCW, 2000s in WWE. Because I was like, when we were talking about all the possible people that could that could come and tribute to him on last night's show, we were like, yeah, Shawn Michaels, he probably got nice things to say about him. He was like, I had my greatest performance of my career against him. Then you could do the 2010s in TNA. And then the 2020s would just be about the Netflix premiere. Oh man, crazy.
And the attempt to be a born again Christian.
An episode per decade, episode per episode. Yeah,
That's a lot. You can even do like Hogan Knows Best, because honestly, I think that's where the true downfall happened for Hulk Hogan, was Hogan Knows Best. I truly believe that. Like, everything started going to shit when that happened.
Yeah. I think whatever the next season is, they could just dedicate the whole season to him.
Really could. But we gotta get into things. Of course, we start off every Tru Heel Heat podcast with the Tru Heel roll call, our top 3 conversation starters on our Tru Heels Facebook group page. You got Jermaine Packman, you got Joe Bellini, and Stewie John Palmer, our Patreon backers. You got Volub, you got Negro Buck, Nick Jackson, Professor Chris, Trey, Robert, Steve, Ladarius, John, Martin, Dolores, James, Alan, Santo, Justin, and Chuck Berries. Thank you so much for supporting us over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content and the best way to support us when we are not live here. Without further ado, let's get into what we missed, and we'll start with last night's WWE SmackDown, which talked about what we got in the headline here, which was a show dedicated to tribute Hulk Hogan. Following the passing of the legendary star, you had Triple H and the entire roster, including some legendary names like Jimmy Hart, Ted DiBiase, Bruce Pritchard, Gerald Briscoe, Brian B. Blair. They were all out there as they celebrated the career. They did the 10-bell salute for Hulk Hogan. Triple H had some words for the fans in attendance. One fan, oh my God. Can we talk about the one fan who had the sign that said, "What you gonna do when the angels are coming for you?"
Wrong
I
place,
literally was just like, "Sir,
Wrong
sir,
place.
are you sure? Are you sure?" They also did a well done tribute video. WWE's production team is unmatched, and this was a really well done tribute video documenting his contributions to the pro wrestling business. Very well done by WWE. I just wish it was for someone else. Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre were confronted by Jelly Roll and Randy Orton on the Impulsive TV, which ended with Jelly delivering a boss man slam to Logan Paul, showing off that he is ready for SummerSlam, showing some wrestling moves early on here. 1 week before the show, you also had the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, who also addressed Hogan's passing and acknowledged that he has there's complicated emotions around it all, as well as his but he thinks that what's not complicated is his legacy to the business, as well as he hyped up his SummerSlam matchup against John Cena and wanting the real Cena at the PLE. Roxanne Perez beat Alexa Bliss thanks to a distraction from Raquel Rodriguez attacking Charlotte Flair at ringside. Alexa ended the matchup with a bloody nose. Jacob Fatu picked up a win over The Miz. Post-match, Solo Sikoa and the MFTs jumped Jacob until Jimmy Uso made the save, but thanks to Tala Tonga, the group still laid out both men for Solo to stand tall. Jade Cargill defeated Chelsea Green. Post-match, the Secret Hervis jumped Jade until WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton made the save. This led to a little bit of a confrontation, a stare down between the two champion and challenger ahead of SummerSlam. Kiana James made her return to WWE, revealing herself as the new representation of WWE Women's United States Champion Julia, who was challenged by Zelina Vega for next week's show. Andrade and Rey Fenix beat the Wyatt Six via disqualification in their WWE Tag Team Championships matchup, thanks to interference from Nikki Cross, who got involved. Post-match, a huge brawl broke out with the SmackDown Tag Team division going after the Wyatts, leading to a huge melee. Nick Aldis had enough of all of this. He saw enough and announced that there will be a 6-way TLC match between the Wyatts, the Lucha Cousins, DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, Fraxium, and Street Profits at SummerSlam next weekend. So finally giving the SmackDown Tag Team division a make good for leaving them off of the WrestleMania card. About
Okay, so when did the Wyatt family become the champs? Was I going that long?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably.
That was the weekend of All In.
I was actually here for that bullshit.
Now I'm about to say, now that's some bull. That whoever made that call was really consolation prize winner. Okay, like we're just giving shit away to people because the Street Profits were doing great. I don't understand like what.
Apparently
happened.
not good enough.
Were they?
No. Apparently not,
They had a fantastic match of the year candidate in the TLC matchup, but I don't think they did much with them after that.
I mean,
Shit, even before
Yeah.
that,
who's running the show? I mean,
Yeah, I don't think Triple H likes tag team wrestling.
Right. So I'm surprised he ran out of matches, so that's why they got this on there. Because you got to fill up the 2 days.
So it took the Wyatt 6 for them to make a 6-way TLC match. Got it.
Yep.
Got it.
So we're gonna give Jada. So Jada's gonna win at SummerSlam. Is that what's gonna happen?
It seems like it.
It seems like that. I did see that. I was like, we're just really at this point just giving titles away to people.
Do you get the theme of what's going on right now? Do you see after what they did at the start of the show, how just normal the rest of the show just felt? Like how just back to business and just nothing back to business and all WWE pushed.
Well, no, they did sprinkle in some tributes to Hogan throughout the night. I just don't like how they won't acknowledge the elephant in the room. I understand them not doing it. But it still feels very disingenuous and dishonest.
They're just not going to.
What to say that he was booed the last time that he was on TV?
Oh, yeah, they're not going to. They're not gonna.
Like it never happened.
Yeah,
we saw it.
They pump in every time they even roll a clip of him. Like when they involve him in the clips, they pump in noise.
And make it even louder.
Yeah, they pump in noise.
Yeah.
But it was very back to work. 5 minutes later.
But like SP said,
everybody except the production team. Roll clip 3, roll clip 2, roll clip 3. You need to add this in your promo. You need to, it was very, very staged.
But I watched it and I heard what Paul said about Terry. Can say
that was off of the cue card as well.
Huh?
That was off of the cue card as well.
I'm sure.
Chat
did they fly all those people out there for free? Because how did you get them there right away? Yeah. Jimmy, we need you. Yeah. Ted,
Jimmy Hart,
please.
Even though Jimmy Hart's a part of this story that we're gonna have to talk about with the passing because he lied to everybody.
Jimmy Hart was the only one that looked sad, by the way.
Brian Blair
needs to bother wearing a shirt.
Brian Blair, he had tears in his eyes.
Yeah, I'm about to say Brian Blair had tears. Those are only two real people. Like Jimmy, I know was like with him like almost all the time, like every day.
Did you see Solo's reaction? Like they clipped Solo's reaction. I was like, oh man. Yeah. They had like AJ looking up. And then fucking Solo looks like he was smiling. I'm not saying he was smiling, but it looks like he was smiling.
Who's gonna run their store? Shut it down.
Yeah. Emmanuel saying outside of the main event and segment, very skippable show. Oh yeah, it was a nothing show. It was the Hogan tribute at the beginning and the angle to set up the TLC matchup. That's the only things you need to watch on the show.
Where are they next week?
I think they're in Brooklyn.
Oh, they're at the Barclays next week?
No, next week's show they're in Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh, they're in Newark,
the Prudential Center.
Yeah,
they're in the Prudential Center.
That makes sense because it's like Prudential is like literally like right there up the block from here. Don't come there. They shouldn't come all the way over here.
Raw is in Brooklyn, right?
Raw is in Brooklyn, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so Monday is okay. Monday night. Raw
not going to that show for sure.
Nope.
All right. Without further ado, let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about it. Hulk Hogan passed away on Thursday at the age of 71 years old. On Thursday morning, TMZ reports that WWE Hall of Famer and perhaps the most famous wrestler of all time, Hulk Hogan, passed away at the age of 71. Emergency responders were dispatched to Hogan's Clearwater, Florida home early Thursday morning following a report of a cardiac arrest. Multiple police units and EMTs arrived at the scene, and Hogan was transported from his home on a stretcher. There had been rumors about Hogan's health for weeks, with his wife Sky denying several of them, including one allegation that he was in a coma. She said that his heart was quote unquote strong as he continued to recover from multiple surgeries. The rumors, which originated from Bubba the Love Sponge, who is a former friend turned lawsuit rival of Hulk Hogan, and he claimed that Hogan was on his deathbed. At the time, sources close to him stated that he was simply experiencing complications from a neck surgery he had undergone in May. Hogan's wife Sky Daly, as well as friends like Eric Bischoff and Jimmy Hart, downplayed how bad things were. Either way, Hogan had been dealing with complications from his neck surgery back in May. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports, according to someone close to Hogan, things weren't as bad as Bubba had suggested, but they also were worse than the public statements issued by his friends and family were. Hogan's health went downhill in the past week, and he was no longer able to speak. He hadn't been seen in public for a while. Another source said that there were other medical issues that he was dealing with after neck surgery. They added Bubba pretty much had legit info the whole time. Basically, what happened with Hulk was they took him out of the hospital and made a hospital in his house, as there wasn't much left they could do. When Jimmy Hart said that Hogan was okay publicly, privately he was telling Hogan's friends and former friends that things weren't good, but to keep it quiet. Hogan was treated at Tampa General Hospital, and he had a renal failure and fluid overload at the time, along with severe COPD, chronic obstruction pulmonary disease. COPD is a long-term disease that affects the lungs, making it difficult to breathe, and includes conditions like emphysema, chronic bronchitis. Smoking usually causes it, but those who don't smoke can get it as well. It's said to be a leading cause of death in the United States. Hogan, born as Terry Bollea, helped revolutionize professional wrestling in the 1980s and 90s. Helped it go mainstream during the rock and wrestling era. Hogan became a household name through his charisma and colorful promos. He famously turned heel in 1996 to form the New World Order, the NWO, igniting another wrestling boom for wrestling. The two-time WWE Hall of Famer had memorable matches with legends like The Rock, Andre the Giant, Randy Savage, and many more. His last match was for TNA Wrestling in 2012, in which he teamed with James Storm and Sting against Kurt Angle, Bobby Roode, and Bully Ray. He was also an actor, appearing in films like Rocky III, Mr. Nanny, as well as the TV show Thunder in Paradise. He even had his own reality show on VH1 called Hogan Knows Best. Recently, he launched an amateur wrestling league with Eric Bischoff called Real American Freestyle, set to debut August 30th. Hogan was also a controversial figure following the release of a secretly recorded video containing racist remarks. He later sued Gawker for publishing the tape and won a highly publicized legal battle. He also made a controversial appearance at the 2024 Republican National Convention in support of Donald Trump. Hogan's fall from grace marked a pivotal moment in wrestling's reckoning with racism and accountability. As one of WWE's most recognizable figures, his removal sent shockwaves through the industry when he was removed from WWE completely in 2015 following the release of the tape, and raised questions about how organizations respond to misconduct by high-profile talent. He was later let back into the family of WWE years later. There was also the leaked phone call with his son, Nick Bollea. Bay News 9 uncovered additional racially charged comments from 2008 jailhouse phone calls between Hogan and his son, Nick, who was serving time for a car crash that left a friend permanently disabled. In one call, Hogan used the N-word and made stereotypical remarks about race, further complicating his public image. In fact, he told his son, despite his son doing something horrible, he said, at the very least, at least we won't die and come back as black people. Most recently, Hogan was part of the new Real American Freestyle promotion, along with Eric Bischoff and others. Hogan's name was part of the promotion's branding, RAF will be holding their first event on August 30th. Hogan was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame on his own in 2005, and then as part of the NWO in 2020. Fightful Select reports that in response to readers asking how WWE would handle the matter, they asked around and were told he would be highlighted as normal and was part of the WWE family. The report also adds that at the time of Hogan's passing, there were no solid plans to have him featured on WWE TV following his controversial appearance on the Raw on Netflix premiere in January. The report makes clear that this doesn't mean that they never would have. It simply means they were not active plans to do so in the future. TMC reported that emergency responders were dispatched to Hogan's Clearwater, Florida home early Thursday morning. Multiple police units and EMTs were on the scene, and they were said that it was immediately described as a cardiac arrest. WWE also released a statement. WWE is saddened to learn WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan has passed away, one of pop culture's most recognizable figures. Hogan helped WWE achieve global recognition in the 1980s. WWE extends its condolences to Hogan's family, friends, and fans. In what was surprising, well, not that surprising, but it's one of his first statements since his whole lawsuit. Vince McMahon issued a statement on Hulk Hogan's passing. The former WWE chairman posted a statement to Twitter paying tribute to Hogan, who helped him launch WWE into the stratosphere with Hulkamania and the Rock and Wrestling era. He wrote, "The world lost a treasure today. Hulk Hogan was the greatest WWE superstar of all time, someone who was loved and admired around the world. He was a trailblazer, the first performer who transitioned from being a wrestling star into a global phenomenon. His grit and unbridled thirst for success were unparalleled and made him the consummate performer. He gave everything he had to the audience, whom he appreciated, respected, and loved. He leaves us with one of his favorite expressions: train, take your vitamins, and say your prayers. Today, we pray for him." In an interview with TMZ, another one of Hogan's colleagues, Ric Flair, got emotional discussing the death of his friend and stressed that they were never enemies in real life. He said, "People tried to portray us as enemies, but we were actually very close friends. We kept up with each other on a regular basis. I just talked to Jimmy Hart yesterday and he was fine. To have this happen is just horrible. We were always friends. I'd probably be remiss to say that I was jealous of him because he was making so much more money than me. It had nothing to do with him, but I never had beef with him. Never. I loved him. Everywhere we went, we drew money. We had a connection. And ever since then, I've kept up with him. I've been out to his bar to do karaoke. Everyone wants to take a shot at Hulk, but he doesn't deserve it. Everyone makes mistakes." Sting, Kevin Nash, Donald Trump, and Rob Van Dam were among the others who sent messages to honor Hulk Hogan after his passing. Nash wrote, "I lost another brother. Icon doesn't even touch it. Rest in power, my friend. NWO for life and beyond." Sting, who had a feud with Hogan in WCW and TNA, also wrote, "Hulk Hogan, the greatest of all. Can't thank you enough for all that you did for me and for wrestling fans all over the world. I loved you and I will miss you. My friend Terry Bollea, R.I.P. Our president, Donald Trump, posted to his Truth social site to write, "We lost a great friend today. The Hulkster, Hulk Hogan, was MAGA all the way. Strong, tough, smart, but with the biggest heart. He gave an absolutely electric speech at the Republican National Convention, and that was one of the highlights of the entire week. He entertained fans from all over the world, and the cultural impact he had was massive. To his wife, Sky, and family, we give our warmest, best wishes and love. Hulk Hogan will be greatly missed." Real American Freestyle, which is the amateur wrestling promotion he started, also released a statement saying that today we lost our commissioner, we lost a friend, and the sport of wrestling lost one of its greatest champions, not just in the ring, but in spirit. Hulk Hogan believed wrestling was more than just entertainment. He saw it as a brotherhood, a proving ground, and a platform for greatness. That's what Real American Freestyle was built to be, a new stage for the toughest, most passionate athletes on earth. Hulk was at the center of it. From day one, he threw his weight behind this league. He met with athletes, he watched tapes, shared stories, and showed up like only he could. Real American Freestyle was personal to him and something bigger than all of us. This league is part of his legacy, and we intend to honor it. In a reveal, it was with all the tribute supporting, details of a Netflix docuseries have also materialized via Hollywood Insider. Writing in his newsletter for Puck News, Matthew Bellani revealed that the Netflix series was quietly being worked upon with hours of interviews with the late star already recorded. The series was partway through development, although has no release date as of yet. Stokely also recently confirmed that he had been working with Hogan and sharing his thoughts in an Instagram post. He says, I only got to know this man over the past 6 months, and yet somehow today's news was still an emotional gut punch for me. I've talked to many people who have strong feelings about Hulk Hogan because of his very public and sometimes controversial life, but the man I got to know was also a thoughtful, caring, passionate human being with many layers. Hogan was the founder of Real American Freestyle with Eric Bischoff, and they confirmed that the plans for the promotion are still going out there. And Hogan leaves behind his daughter, Brooke Hogan, who hadn't talked to him since 2023. She confirmed this week, and son Nick Hogan, as well as his wife, Sky Daly. So, gave you all of that to give you a full round of everything. You needed to hear everything to kind of absorb it all and get your own opinion. Now, as far as my opinion, I think that Hulk Hogan may be the most polarizing professional wrestler of all time because he is both of these things. He is the biggest and most important and most famous professional wrestler that has ever lived. If it wasn't for him, wrestling in the United States would not be on a national scale. Before Hulk Hogan was launched as the star of the WWF, it was a very regional type of business. And he made it go national and went global because of that. His importance to WWE and the rise of that promotion cannot be quantified. He is all of those things. He was responsible and viewed as the cornerstone of the boom of the 1980s with the rock and wrestling era. And he's also very important to the boom of the 1990s, because if he's not the third man in the NWO, who knows if WWE is forced to go outside of their range and create the Attitude Era and stars like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, and everything that came because of that. Hulk Hogan's importance to pro wrestling, you cannot talk about pro wrestling without Hulk Hogan. There would not be wrestling podcasts in a lot of ways like us that are from the United States without Hulk Hogan and what he contributed to professional wrestling. All of that to also say, he is also a disrespectful, unapologetic, racist piece of shit who never really apologized for the hurtful statements that he made about people. And I did mention it in that whole diatribe about his controversy of what he said. And in case you weren't aware of what he said in that famous leaked comments, his racist rant, I will say, and I quote, I'd rather if she, talking about his daughter's black boyfriend, I'd rather if she was going to fuck some nigger, I'd rather have her marry an 8-foot nigger worth $100 million, like a basketball player. I guess we're all a little racist. Fucking nigger. Fuck him and the horse he rode on. All of that is the same. Both things can be true, ladies and gentlemen. So regardless of how you feel about it, if you are mourning the loss of Hulk Hogan, that is okay. If you just want to view him as Hulk Hogan, the professional wrestler, that is okay. If you feel differently, you do not need to comment and try to change that person's mind. But also, if you are smoking on that Hulk Hogan pack this week and you feel differently and you're mourning the loss and you want that person to mourn the loss, you shouldn't do that either. Let's all respect how people feel about the passing of Hulk Hogan, because it's going to put out a lot of polarizing emotions. So whoever wants to go next, go ahead.
I guess I'll start. Very well done and very well said, by the way, SP3. You covered a lot of ground, a lot of bases. And I messaged y'all last night because I was like, why is this so minimalized? This feels so non-important. And it's based off of literally, it took 10 years. 10 years of a lack of accountability is what, and it's like, it's more hurtful to wrestling fans, and it created an anger to wash away basically what was our childhood wrestling hero. Like you said earlier, like, wrestling is not what it is without this man. The world of globalized like pay-per-views and WrestleManias and SummerSlams, Royal Rumbles, WWF Superstars, the cartoons, the movies. That was the vision that we had growing up as kids. So we had all of this growing up. And at the unfortunate time of us becoming adults, we were privy to this thing called social media. And when a report and when things go out like this, and mind you, this is 10 years ago. 10. This is a decade. You know how many times people try to repair, fix, and try to have some level of accountability for something they've done that was not good in the light of millions and millions of people. And mind you, millions of Hogan fans are Black minorities. And when you get that statement, the one that you read, that is a true feeling. That's a feeling. That's not like some kayfabe statement. That's not some, oh, he's trying to cut a promo. That was genuine emotion. So it's like, what was he looking at when he met me in person? What was he looking like when he met SP in person? Like, were we just some useless niggers that's just giving him money? And to say we're all a little racist, it's like you're trying to take your power and bestow it upon people's brains because you have this level of influence. And to not say any level of apology at all, and only used ever the times of I'm embarrassed. There was no accountability for over 4,000 days. That is 4,000 plus days of us remembering this, feeling this. Like, what are we? What are we? Like, and this is a whole side of society. And it hurt. Like, it hurts, right? When you watch somebody from 6 years old, 10 years old, 16 years old, 20 years old. And you're like, my dream as a fan is to meet this man. And then when I meet this man, and then you find out what you get years later, it's like a piece of your heart just kind of goes away. It's like you become so filled with hurt, it just becomes rage that can never go away. It can never go away. And for somebody so important, this should have been the biggest day for fans to mourn in the history of professional wrestling. This should have been the most monumental day in the history of professional wrestling. This is something that everyone, this should have almost kind of been like a cult outsiding of people just outside with signs and celebrating and cheering all across the globe. This shit was just news yesterday. This shit was just news because of the stain that you left on the name that you built. You left such a unrepairable stain to people that will never forgive, and it's rightfully so. because our colors ain't gonna change. We're not gonna be able. We can't just change colors. And it's like everyone that is some type of person, and to say to I'm like, when we die, we're not gonna come back as black people. He literally doubled down on it. Like he doubled down on it.
Like and he didn't feel sorry at all. Like it was no remorse.
It's like it is a big fuck you to all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And despite what anyone feels, people are hurt by his comments. People are hurt by what he's done. And that's why everyone is so fucking upset.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of the pain that he's caused and the irreparable damage that he's caused. And if I can't sit here and be like, yeah, I don't feel a certain way. Yo, this shit was a blow when I saw this shit happen. But it was like, he didn't give a fuck about me anyway.
Mm-hmm. That part.
So it just goes to trying to restore good even in someone's dying day, but the damage can't out repair everything that he's done. He's done so much bad with his words, it can't take away from the good that he has done and built and revolutionized. Because it's almost like there was a devil that was raising us all up to making us love this culture and all of this. And once he goes backstage, it's kind of like, look at all these niggers buying my shit. Look at all these niggers coming to my show. Look at all of these stupid niggas outside waiting for me. And you can't get past that. We can't get past that. We won't get past that. That's just me. And I'm not saying this to speak on the behalf of Josh, SP, Krssi, or anybody in the chat. Everything I'm saying is based on how I feel. Like, this is my feeling. And it could resonate, and I could be speaking for some people, per se. But this is a result of severe hurt that has turned into irreparable anger. And this will live forever.
Krssi?
Okay. Where do I begin first? Because you guys spoke on a lot of stuff. We've had 2 deaths already so far. You're like, okay, well, who's the third? Because they say death comes in 3s. I didn't think that it would have been Terrence from Florida. But hey, here we are. And my mother called me because she knows that we love wrestling. And she's like, oh my God, did you see the news? I was like, yeah, I saw it. She was like, I'm so sad. I'm like, why? You don't even like wrestling, Ma. Like, she's like, no, well, people die and everything. I was like, but she's like, why is everyone saying such mean things about him? I was like, oh, so that's why you called me. I was like, well, here's what happened. She was like, let me wipe my fucking face and get off this damn phone because this is ridiculous. Once you explain it to, people that don't watch it and don't know what happened, she was like, the fucking galls of him. And I was like, well, yes. And it's so sad because Hulk Hogan, the character, and Terrence, the person, unfortunately, we see him as one. But they were 2 people that was like one-on-one. So he's now Terry has now tarnished the legacy of Hulk Hogan that everyone loved. You can't even hear the song and not be upset and not think about your childhood in the 80s. I had a Hulk Hogan buddy. I had a Hulk Hogan doll. I had everything that was Hulk Hogan. Growing up, I'm an 80s baby. I had all of those things. And seeing him, even though I liked Macho Man more and I would always be upset, but nevertheless, they had more Hulk Hogan stuff than Macho Man stuff. Let's just be very, very honest. He was popular for a reason. He was the All-American. That's why they had the song. This is why they had all of these things. Fast forward to now, we have this era of now having the internet and having him be on reality TV. Just like Josh said, I think having Terry's know best made that downfall. we probably would have seen it anyway. But I think that helped see more of that person, of like who he really was, if that makes sense. His wife was a shitty person too, but nevertheless, it's okay. But he ruined something that all of us kids, when we got older, we were like, fuck, like someone that we really, really like idolized and enjoy watching and thought was really, really a big hero. Like he was beating up all of the bad guys. And you come and realize he was a shitty person. He wasn't even really a good ass wrestler. He had one move and it was a boot. And it was like, was he really even doing anything? No. If you go back and watch all of it, then he became on the NWO and you made being a bad guy be cool. And everybody wanted to be one of the bad guys, which was great. But then you go and you really fuck up and tarnish a legacy of what people have poured. I mean, and like JJ said, a lot of black people don't understand. A lot of black people love fucking wrestling. You just see all of the other people, but a lot of black people love fucking wrestling. They loved Hulk Hogan until you realize that he was a shitty person. And not only was he a big supporter of the other side, and he went to their convention and all these things, and you use all of these fucking slogans that people idolize and love, and really found out that you, sir, are not a good person. You are a shitty person. And it really hurts people's feelings that to see, and we couldn't even like really like celebrate your legacy because of the person that you really, really are true at heart. And it's fucking sad because your legacy, you are one of the biggest, like you can say Hulk Hogan's name and a bunch of shit will come up. A bunch of things will happen. He was a movie star. Thunder in Paradise, Saturday mornings, afternoons, you will see Superstars. You will see Baywatch. You will see all of these other shows. And then you saw Thunder in Paradise. You're like, oh my God, Hulk Hogan is on fucking TV. He's acting. No holds bars. Shitty movie. But that was a big thing for us when we seen it. Him beating up Zeus. I had it on VHS. If you don't know what that is, sorry, you should Google
Mr. Nanny.
Mr. Nanny, like, come on, like it was a Christmas one he did as well. Like it was a whole, like he did some, like, as kids, we like, oh my God, look at Hulk Hogan.
It was so cool.
He was so cool. You seen him on Arsenio Hall for black people on Channel 9. What? That was a big thing for us. And you don't see big people. Thank you, Falabi. Thank you. That's what we like really, really like loved and seen and idolized. And it's just like all of these things, and it doesn't even fucking matter because you tarnished it. And it's sad. I feel bad for his family. No one can do anything in the time of death. It's really, really bad. But outside of it, you gotta be honest and say he was a shitty person. He was a snitch as well. They could have had unions for the wrestlers, and he snitched on them. You know how hard it is to be a wrestler nowadays, and you're a contractor and you can't even really get health insurance? Fuck you. Because you got all the fucking money. But someone that's like what's the Otis, he ain't got shit. They need unions, but you messed this all up for everybody. They had it all into place. And it's so sad because you were jealous and you wanted everything for yourself. You block people from getting their stuff. You blocking people's blessings. You blocking everything from people. And they don't talk about that part. And that's the sad part. So again, a legacy that's very, very tarnished because of the shit that you want to do, because you want to be the top guy. You didn't want to have other people win. And again, all these people that are saying all of these messages, I cannot doubt that they feel that way. I'm sure that they are hurting. I'm sure. But you have to understand and realize what he said and how his people don't understand words affect things and they affect how people think. And they think about those things and you can't take them back. And you never said you were sorry. You gave it like a subliminal, like, oh, okay. You dumbed down on it, but you were never really sorry. You were sorry that you got caught. That's what happened.
Yeah. He was given the opportunity to talk to the roster when he came back and apologize for what he said. And he told them, be careful because you never know who's recording you.
So you were never sorry. You were sorry you got caught. So you saying those things, you said that with your chest. You said that because you meant it. You felt it. You used that word. When you use that word, we use it all the time. We use it, yes, because we use that. But when he used it, he used it all the time too. Because he said it just rolled off the tongue like nothing. So that's all I have to say about Terrence.
I feel for anyone who's like close to him and they lost their best friend. I feel for his children, his grandchildren. They lost somebody. I totally understand that. But what we're not going to do, and especially what we're not going to do on this podcast here, is ignore the things that he did that hurt people. You know, the wrestling part, that's a whole nother story. That's something that we can actually talk about after this and joke about, because it's funny, a lot of the stuff that he did behind the scenes to snake people and be a backstabber and be a liar, and that doesn't work for me, brother. All that stuff, it's funny because it's wrestling. You know me personally, I always say one of my catchphrases is, I don't take wrestling that seriously. I will talk about things that need to be serious about wrestling. Sure, there's stuff around it that it needs to be taken seriously. But wrestling in general, it's a business that you shouldn't take that seriously. What I do take seriously is the comments and the words that he said that really hateful stuff that he said that hurt people. Not only did he hurt people with the things that he said directed toward them, he hurt people in the fact that he ruined their childhood. This was a guy that opened the door for me to become a wrestling fan. Like, my mom messaged me as I was on air when the news broke when I was on Fightful on Thursday, and was like, "This was your first wrestling hero," and I was like, "Yeah, but he ruined that a decade ago." Yeah, that was my response to her. Like, he ruined that for me.
So your mom was the same way, like my mom. Yeah, she
no, my mom actually acknowledged. She was like, I know he lost some grace for that, and I was like, to make sure she knew what I was referring to, I sent her the quote, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't feel as bad. I don't feel as bad as I did when that news first hit."
She was like, everyone keeps saying fuck Hulk Hogan. Why are they saying it? And once you break it down to someone that don't really watch it or understand, she was like, I would fuck him. Yeah, fuck him. Yeah. And she'd be like, I feel bad for his family. Like you said, SB, the people that was around him, his friends, his family. Because again, no one likes to feel a loss of a loved one. That's just point blank period. That's everyone. That's human. However, let's not forget the fact that you were not a good person.
Yeah.
And everyone making these all like pictures and shit of him in heaven. I'm not saying that you could believe or not believe. I'm happy that you believe in a higher power. I do as well. But I wholeheartedly do not think that person is there.
That's what I said. That sign that was in the crowd of what you're going to do when the angels come for you. I was like, sir, I don't know if we need to have a conversation. But I don't know if those angels, unless you're referring to the angel that fell, maybe
Grim Reaper.
If you read your Bible, you know that Satan is the angel that fell. But yes, Josh, what was your reaction to this whole thing, and any words you want to say about Hulk Hogan?
I mean, obviously it was shocking just because, you usually when these things happen, you're not really fully prepared for it. And I think a lot of us weren't prepared for it because, we saw him recently doing his tour, doing all that stuff, promoting, his gear and all that stuff. With that being said, I wanted you guys to go first, just because I thought it was appropriate. I think it was appropriate that you guys go first. I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. I'm saying that because, one of the things that, when I started doing this podcast and I became full-time is when I had like some of my friends started tuning in, they always thought they're like, wow, like, I think that's pretty cool that, like your co-hosts are black, it's cool to see black wrestling fans having a platform. And I think that's a good thing. Right. So I think, so I wanted you guys to go first. I thought it was appropriate for that reason because of the comments that he's made over the years. And I think a lot of people, the thing is, right, when it comes to Hulk Hogan, myself, I can acknowledge what he's done for the business, right? He basically took wrestling on the map in a sense, right? Because of Vince McMahon believing in him and giving him that platform, and him being a part of big moments too, Obviously he became like the big name that became like mainstream, and I think that's why he's when it comes to wrestling, that's why he's a big factor to that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will say, I started watching wrestling because of Hulk Hogan. They got into, they were inspired by Hulk Hogan. They became a wrestler because of him. With me personally, I became a fan not because of Hulk Hogan. I became a fan because of Bret Hart. Like, Bret Hart is my number one, and that's how I became a wrestling fan. But as a kid, I did see like Hulk Hogan in a lot of places, movies, TV shows. The biggest thing that I saw him in was Gremlins 2. Like, that was the main thing that I remember seeing him when I was a kid. But he was everywhere, even like those what do you call that? Like the plushie toys, like that big. That is like, I had an Ultimate Warrior one and I had a Hulk Hogan one.
The wrestling buddies.
The wrestling buddies. And so he was everywhere. And that's one thing I will never take away from. And I will never use like his success in bad faith. Like, I will never say, oh, Hulk Hogan never put wrestling on the map. He never did this and that, because it's all just not true. So I will never take that away when it comes to his success and the things that he's done. On the flip side, you could also kind of say, maybe he wasn't, like, he was a big part of wrestling, but then he was also a big part of why it almost collapsed in a lot of ways. WCW, once they started getting guaranteed contracts, he was a big part of the downfall of WCW when it comes to financially and them going out of business. And it's just a fact. He goes to TNA, he almost ruined TNA. TNA almost died. They almost went out of business once he got it. He was a big part of it. I'm not gonna blame him fully, but he was a big part of it. So, in two ways you could see what he's done for business, but then you go see where he hurts the business as well.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, the last 10 years of him, because I've never been the biggest fan of Hulk Hogan, but the last 10 years were kind of just like one of those things where it was just like, oh, you see, he's proving why I never really liked him. But in regards to like his racist comments, his racist rants, I think what a lot of people fall short on is, and this is the biggest problem that I've been having with a lot of fans, especially like them defending him, them trying to justify it, or them just trying to like put it under the rug in a way where you have one fan that will say, oh, he made some bad comments and he apologized for it. He never apologized for anything. He never apologized it. And if you could prove where he apologized, I would love to see proof of him apologizing for it. Then you have the next fan that will say, oh, you guys keep bringing it up. Like, you keep bringing up his comments. This is why racism's still around, because you guys keep bringing it up. Racist, we're supposed to ignore that? You're supposed to ignore when somebody says some real disgusting, hurtful shit? Absolutely fucking not. Like, he said one of the worst things you could say. And that's why it's not okay for what he did. And then you have the other fans where they're like, hey, everybody makes mistakes. We make mistakes, right? Which is true. We make mistakes. Sometimes we make mistakes every week, whatever the case may be. It could be at work, it could be in our personal lives. The issue is that it's not that we fucking make mistakes. The issue is when we make mistakes, I think a big portion of us, at least myself, I could speak for myself, is that when we mess up, I take accountability for when I mess up. Right? And I'm saying this because this is one of the things that I learned from myself when, around the age when I was like about 21, 22, I was going through a deep depression. There's a lot of things that I was angry about. And I always made them like, hey, why is this happening to me? Right? It was a selfish thing on my end. But then when I started reflecting, when I started, understanding how I really felt, there was a level of accountability that I needed to take. Hey, I'm responsible for this happening. I'm responsible for that happening. And because of that, that's why I'm a very big advocate when it comes to, if you mess up, just own up to it. If you mess up, just take accountability for it. And it's like even recently, I made some real bad comments to somebody, one of our friends, and I was out of line for that. I was joking, but this person was offended. And I apologize for it. I apologize to even the group chat. I apologize to everybody if they feel any type of way about it. And that was me taking accountability. That was that person holding me accountable. And then, and I even thanked him the next day. He hits me up. He's like, bro, I love you so much. And I told him straight up, thank you for holding me accountable for what I did, because I didn't really realize how you felt. Right. The thing is, when it comes to Hogan, he's had 10 years. He's had 10 years to reconcile. He had 10 years to fix these things. And every single time he had an opportunity to fix it, he probably made it worse. He probably made it worse with his comments. He's probably made it worse with his double downs. Like you said about the recording with his son, saying some crazy stuff like that about, like, basically he even worded it as his biggest fear was to be reincarnated, his family being reincarnated to a black family due to karma. Like, he legit said that, like, that was his biggest fear, right? And my thing is, when it comes to his comments, right, it wasn't just about that he said the N-word. And that's what people kind of look at. Oh, well, he's, people say the N-word all the time.
I literally had someone try to do a got me to my post where I said it was crazy work. He passed away on the 10-year anniversary, where they screenshotted me saying R.I.P. to Sabu and said, where is this energy? And then they brought up that Sabu once called Taz a nigger. And I was like, should he have said it? No, definitely not. And he shouldn't use it in any type of context. But you're telling me that this is the same context in which Hulk Hogan used that term? No, it's not. It's two different things. Like, you could say, no, he's wrong for that, and he shouldn't be saying that. But at the same time, I can pay tribute to him. But I'm not going to pay tribute to Hulk Hogan because of the context in which he used the terms that he did, and also what he said to his son in what he thought was a private moment. It really show you show your real self when you think you're in darkness, and then that comes to the light, and that shows everybody who you really are.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that I've had over the years, where there's people who try to say, oh, he made a mistake. Right, he did this. He had like a slip up. I was like, did you see the quote? That's not a slip up. That is not a slip up. He had it's not only the full rant. He said the word like 4, 5, 6 different times. That's not a slip up. That is not a slip up. And it's the way that he went about it. That is like the idea. That's what people need to stop ignoring. It's not that he just said the N-word, because we had Randy Orton say the N-word. But he didn't say the hard ER. Like, he said it playing around, like he was playing a video game, right? But the context of that is so much different. I'm not saying that, hey, that's okay. I'm just saying that people need to understand the context of why people were upset. People were upset because he said it, and he was angry when he said it. He said it when he was angry off of something that wasn't even his. It was his daughter's relationship. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't.
And back then, when they were, especially on that show, she was around a lot of black people, and they were all doing her music. She was around a lot of rappers. They were all doing her music, but it was okay for them to help her get in a music career, help her get where she needed to go.
Yeah,
but you don't want her to be with them.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things.
Really quick for the ones that's asking to why we can't. Please just do your research. Do some research.
In regards to everything else, it's like, again, he had all this time to make up for it. Even when he was reinstated with WWE, he had the perfect opportunity to acknowledge what he did, apologize to the locker room, and he just said, I didn't know I was being recorded. That was his response to that. And Shelton Benjamin was very open about it, where he got pissed because he mentioned his name. He said his name wrong. Then the way that he mentioned his name was like so out of context to the point that Sheldon, who never really responds on social media, responded directly to Hogan and basically told him, like, you never fucking apologized for what you said to begin with. Like, you never owned up to that shit. And the thing is that, you know, even more recently, too, is the lies that he would tell. And regardless, his lies are very fucking stupid. Don't get me wrong. They're very stupid. But it's the fact that you started believing your own lies and the way you went about it. It turned people off. Like, you're talking about bullshit about your career, which is like, bro, like your career was filmed 99% of the time. None of this shit happened. So what are you talking about? And it rubbed people the wrong way when it comes to a lot of stuff. And again, when it comes to how he always felt, you know, the perfect example of that, when I talked about he doubled down, tripled down, is the Kamala Harris thing. Right? He made some comments about Kamala Harris asking, oh, is she black? Is she Indian? What was that about? Like, what's the point of that? If you're gonna support Donald Trump, that's fine. But then it's like you're crossing the line that doesn't need to be crossed. You don't have to like the person, but now like you're crossing a line that was like super unnecessary. In regards to like the whole, you know, him being in the Republican convention, you know, to me, I've always been open about that, where it's like I wasn't hurt about that, or I wasn't like sour about it, because I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that was what he leaned with. What people don't understand is, why was it a bad look? Because not only he cuts a promo on stage, he used his character. He used his Hulk Hogan character as himself to make the speech. That's why people look at it the way that they do, right? And when in regards to
that's the point that Chris made, it's one and the same. Terry Bollea and Hulk Hogan became the same.
They're one and the same.
Yeah, they're damn near impossible to separate.
It's damn near, you can't separate the two now. Like, he lives the gimmick, like Ric Flair. You are that person. You live your gimmick.
The life as Hulk Hogan. He lived his life as Hulk Hogan.
Right. He's never Terry. Then no one never says Terry, unless you like saying Terry Hulk Hogan. I mean, Terry, you know, Hulk Hogan Balea, but like they really just call him Hulk Hogan.
Especially in wrestling, like that's always the hardest part to separate. People always say, "Oh, separate the artist from the individual." I'm like, you can't do that in wrestling when that's their persona. Stone Cold. He's not Steve Williams. He's Stone Cold. People see him as Stone Cold, and he still presents himself as Stone Cold. So it's like when you see Hulk Hogan the way that he is, that's what people are gonna see. And my point when it comes to all this, when people talk about like, oh, that he made, like, my thing is that when you have somebody that you look up to, somebody that you're inspired by, somebody you're a big fan of, even somebody that you've called a hero, when they don't live to that standards of that you have of them, putting that on that pedestal, you have them at a certain standard and they don't meet that, or you find out, oh, this is how they really feel. How do you expect people to look past that, to look past the bad stuff that he's done? And I think that it's one of those things where we can acknowledge what he's done for the wrestling business. And I sure as hell, I've acknowledged it. But we also cannot ignore the bad stuff that he's done. Why? Because he never took accountability to anything. So when you are in a position where you make mistakes and you don't fix it, people are going to harbor onto that. Why? Because of what you did, because of your actions after the fact. Again, he had all this time to fix it. He had all this time to even reconcile. Now, if he even did that, there are people who are still going to feel hurt and feel upset. At the same time, you know, they have every right to feel that way. But it's the fact that if you make effort, people will eventually forgive you. And unfortunately, those people never forgave him. And, you know, you see the reaction when they come to like his people are, you know, saying rest in peace. There's people who even, you know, they're celebrating his death. I'm not celebrating his death. That's just not me. Yeah, like, you know, that's just not me. No. But I'm also not gonna pay tribute to a guy that I really didn't like. I didn't really have real respect for him. You know, and that's just how I feel. I'm not gonna be fake about it. That's just how I feel deep down. You know, and I think it's one of those things. I said it. If you're gonna post pictures of him, like you took pictures with him, people who met him, I will never judge you for that. because you feel how you feel. The only thing I will say is you yourself have to understand why there's a big outrage when it comes to Hulk Hogan, because again, what he did was just, he could have fixed it. He never did.
Yeah, like I said at the top of all of this, you can feel how you want to feel, and no one should question you on it. No one should try to put their feelings onto you. You're gonna feel and you're gonna process this however you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Me myself, I'm not celebrating anyone's death because I think that's completely irrational way of thinking to celebrate anyone's death.
100%. Correct.
But
it's a celebration of life, not death.
all I can say is the same thing that I said on Twitter. The only comment that I made about it. It's insane he passed away 10 years after that racist rant came out.
So it was on the exact day that it came out?
On the exact day, 10 years later.
July 24th, the exact same day.
Wow.
Like,
if that's not, I don't.
If that ain't confirmation that God is black, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there you have it, right? So, I mean, I tried to do a little digging, and I found like some quoted words as a form of what was the only time that this was acknowledged. This was back in 2015, same time frame. 8 years ago, I used offensive language during a conversation. It was unacceptable for me to have used that offensive language. There is no excuse for it, and I apologize for have done it. This is not who I am, and I believe very strongly that every person in this world is important and should not be treated differently based on race, gender, orientation, religious beliefs, or otherwise. Mm-hmm. I am disappointed with myself that the language that I use is offensive and inconsistent with my own beliefs.
Okay.
How much? So, one, where's the context?
So this was this is this the People's Magazine interview from 2015?
Yeah, People and Yahoo Insider.
So he commented. So basically he.
I think this interview is based on the Nick Bolea jail conversation, because that's what it adds up to. Because 2008 was when that happened.
Yeah. And this part here, they're missing the entire part of what the comments meant and who they were directed to. So
maybe that's why people think he said sorry, because of that article. But he never. But he
never apologized for what came out with the racist rant afterwards.
Yeah. Correct, because people keep saying, "Oh, but he apologized." So maybe he apologized in that moment on that part. Yep. But he doubled down from the original stuff.
Oh, he doubled down on it again. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So with the whole, when we die, we're not going to grow up to be black people. We're not going to be born black people. So for somebody like myself, that is turning, I feel blessed for it. For somebody that's turning 42 years old, the first time seeing this guy on my TV, I was with my brothers, and everybody was pretty much adults already. So it's WrestleMania 4. The tournament, and then getting to see him and knowing who he is by the Mega Powers Explode. This guy is larger than life.
Mm-hmm.
So for me being 5 years old, this guy is larger than life. Like everything that he modeled, that's what I wanted to not be, but be like to a degree. Like I see so much everything that is I want to see be done as far as positive and saying your prayers and eating your vitamins and being good about everything that you do. And then this is how I go to school. So for somebody like me, this was a very important part of my life. No matter what, I'm not going to try to underplay it. this is a very important part. Like this part here was this guy before the X-Men, before Spider-Man, before Superman, before the Incredible Hulk, before these we know is comic book fictional characters. This
Marvel
is
superstars,
real life. This is the guy
DC.
that's real life. This is a real life superhero. This guy is who we think can save us from beating up any bad guys. This is who we thought that was. And there's some people that did not like him too much. There's some people that like Randy Savage more. There's some people that like Ultimate Warrior more. There's some people that like Ted DiBiase more. There's some people, and no matter what, though, you had a feeling and an opinion or thought about the immortal Hulk Hogan, the red and yellow, the Hulkamaniacs. No matter who you were, there was something to be said. So this podcast, this panel, we've all met, all of us that's been together. This whole, even the people that's not on here, the Stat Kings, the Chris G's, the drunk guys, the Romeos, the Jimmys, everyone. What do we all kind of like have in common? We're kind of all in that minority field. We met through wrestling. We met through wrestling because why? Because it's a big part of our lives, regardless of how you want to cut it. And when arguably the absolute biggest part of that part of life does what is done and completely refuses accountability, you grow up and you start to understand the business more. You start to understand it more. And then you start to realize, now I'm starting to peel into the person. And mind you, not one time I brought up anything business. I didn't bring up anything wrestling, anything when it comes to the stuff that he's done to keep himself on top, to be the man, to refusing to lose to people, the swindling, the politics backstage. That is a whole nother conversation.
You stealing from people, WrestleMania 9.
A whole nother conversation.
Whether it be just a couple of things that we've already brought up. You brought up WrestleMania 4. Why does he have to steal the spotlight from Macho Man Randy Savage on the night that it's his win? He comes in with the steel chair to help him get the win. And he's the one that has Elizabeth on his shoulders during that win. The entire Mega Powers Implode is basically a meta storyline, which is about Macho's real life jealousy of anyone getting close to Elizabeth, and also his jealousy of Hulk Hogan, because despite him being the WWF champion, the attention's all on Hogan because he has to do the Mega Powers.
Always, yep. He had to be in the spotlight.
It's really like, when you really think about it, that was like a meta kind of storyline before meta was really a thing.
Well,
Think about all the people that he would not put over. Roddy Piper feuded with him for like 3-4 years. Never got a victory over Hulk Hogan. But Roddy Piper was about his politics shit, so he never got a win over him either. So we just had non-finishes for one of the biggest rivalries of all time.
That's a fact. That's a whole fact. You're right, SB. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
And that
Sting who paid tribute to him, Starrcade 1997.
Yep.
One of the biggest matches ever in WCW history. Hogan refused to lose because Sting didn't have a proper tan and didn't seem into it. So he made Nick Patrick, who was supposed to do a fast count, do a slow regular count, making the whole thing non and void, and they had to redo it 2 months later.
So, yeah, for me, nutshell wise, is that a lot of what has transpired is when people's reacting about this stuff. No cap. It's going to be a lot of stuff that is disappointment, anger, and hurt.
You forgot WrestleMania 9.
So that was the start of me swaying another way, because at the time, Bret Hart became my favorite wrestler. And when that whole thing transpired, I started to kind of learn a little bit more and be a little bit smarter about what's going on, and started to kind of dislike the person that I was seeing because he had to have everything. And that, again, that's another time, but I'm just, we could literally probably do this entire thing about all the politic and stuff that he's done. But you see, all of that time he spent politicking, all of that time he spent doing things for himself. What about the things that, you know, when it comes to meet and greets, he does those perfectly fine. He's there in attendance for those. When he's there to make a public statement to support people he want to support, he's there for that. But when it comes time to say, I'm sorry for something that I hurt a lot of people with doing and saying, and my actions, and I know I have a big influence on people, where was your presence for any of that? Didn't exist, doesn't exist. There's your feelings in a nutshell, why it's so polarizing, because it's like we never got anything, and it's never coming now. It's literally never coming. This is what we go on with forever. is somebody that is not gonna be able to take ownership, that's not able to say like something that we can see you speaking and not you reading off of a piece of paper that your HR partner has given to you to read. All of the other stuff was genuine. That shit came off rip multiple times. That shit came straight out the gut. But this one, nah, we ain't never getting the other one. We ain't never getting the accountability. I'm sorry. Like, you know how far, and I'm sorry, would have went just to start the healing process? Like, to start it? It's crazy. It's crazy that people's egos are so large that they just can't look and say, damn, yo, I've caused a lot of damage.
Yo, the fact that we've been speaking on this so long just tells you.
It's such a layered conversation.
It's so many layers. The onion is like slowly peeling off, and still people will not understand why we are saying these things and where we're coming from, because it's just like JJ said, you have to do your research. And unfortunately, we will say this and we're going to stand behind it. We're going to keep saying it. But no, there's other people that will not see what we're saying. And they're just haters. They just don't understand.
There's not many of them, so that's why I'm not gonna.
No, not even just like. I'm not even saying in the chat, like people that will like watch.
Yeah, yes, people that will rewatch. Yeah,
people that will rewatch this, and they will not understand like where we're coming from and how we're speaking. Like you said, we're all minorities that love wrestling, and we're speaking about a person that was a heart of wrestling. No matter what he did.
Biggest part of wrestling.
Like he made wrestling
undeniably.
He made it possible for wrestlers to be movie stars. Like there's so many layers to like all of this. Like he did all of these things
in the US, that's for sure.
In the US.
I would say like as far as like culturally, like he's as important culturally as like El Santo, who is really like the first wrestler who was doing movies, is to like Lucha Libre and Mexican wrestling.
Right.
Or Antonio Inoki in Japan, who created New Japan Pro Wrestling and was so important and wrestled freaking Muhammad Ali. Like, yeah, Hogan is in that context as far as like culturally influential wrestler. He's up there. He's in the top 3.
And he'll always and he will always be.
And one thing I'm gonna say before I gotta head out, I already told the chat I'm already late for work. I was like, fuck it. This is too important, honestly. Regardless of the fact what you're watching and what you're listening to here, you're gonna see a lot of other reactors and a lot of other shows and a lot of other podcasts. And everybody is gonna try to give you the cutest one-liners or give you the cutest quotations and try to give you something the clickbait. Somebody's going to try to give you clickbait to watch. I will put my life on it that no other show, no other podcast is going to get as genuine or get as thoughtful as what we're saying. And mind you, none of this was pre-scripted. None of this was pre-discussed. No one on any other channel is going to give you just the straight opinions and real feelings with depth, without it being some cultural clickbait type of deal.
Couldn't say it better myself, but I know you got to get to work, JJ. So please let everybody know, and any final words you got on Hulk Hogan, and let everybody know where they can follow you on social media, good sir.
On Instagram, you can find me at Tru Heel _Top Guy JJ. And on the YouTube channel here, I will be back for Rated Raw review this coming Tuesday, and 2 weeks from today for Tru Heel Heat. I think I think this is an ongoing conversation. I don't think this is something that will just like cut dry right here. There's just so many layers to this. There's so many things that we're going to go over, so many like nuggets that, and there's going to be something that we miss. There's going to be something that we don't catch or go through. But I think we did a good job of covering just our genuine like raw reactions and feelings to what has transpired, and just why we feel the way we feel, and why everyone's opinion should be validated to how they feel. Like the way I grew up to him is not going to be the same way as Josh. It's the same way as SP, the same way as Krssi, the same way as Negro Buck in the chat, same way as Dion in the chat, same way as Chuck Berry's in the chat. It's not going to be the same. So you can't take your opinions and try to sway it into how I feel or how any of us feels. It is literally because we're all different ages, or we're probably all from different cultures and backgrounds. So you got to understand what we're saying, how we're saying it, and why we're feeling how we're feeling. Mm-hmm. So for you as a person, if you're going to try to say anything negative or try to sway a way for us to say something different based on how we feel and how we perceive things when we were the ones that grew up, you yourself grew up with this situation, you need to take a cold hard look at yourself in the mirror and realize that you may need to do some learning about you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming on, Top Guy JJ. Wasn't planned for you to come on till 2 weeks from now, but we appreciate you for sharing your thoughts, man.
All right. Love you guys, and I hope your subject list ain't too steep today, brother.
Try my best to keep it at a minimum.
Yeah,
but yes,
love
appreciate
you guys.
You, man.
Love you, bye. Have a great day at work.
Yep, love ya. Later.
Love ya. All right, we do have some super chat donations to get to as we were discussing things. We got Volub in the chat who says it's been a member for over 2 years now. Volub, and thank you, Volub, so much. I've seen you in the chat kind of being a moderator and controlling things when the subject, and like you said, shout outs to the chat for very good discussion. Not that many idiots in the chat, just like one or two. Volub says he's such a
damn. What was the last comment? Shit.
Volub says he's such a piece of shit that I feel nothing for his legacy. In fact, I will take all the benefits he's given to wrestling and piss on him anyway.
Oh,
wow. He felt a certain way. He said that with his chest. We also got Chuck Berries with another super chat donation. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says, back in the late 1980s, my mother bought me an AWA wrestling ring and a junkyard dog doll and Big John Studd doll, and not a Hulk Hogan doll. And looking back, I'm glad she did not buy it for me. I'm just saying. I mean, your mom knew. Even back then. Mothers knows best.
Yep.
Mothers knows best. We also got Chilling with Chase, who says, sup, brothers? I just got done body slamming Andre the Giant, who was 700 pounds at the time, about to go fly from Japan to America in 5 hours. Take it easy, Tru Heel Heat family. Love you, Chase. You're awesome. Always appreciate the super chat donation. And then he also sent us another one. Thank you again. He says, serious super chat time. Great discussion about Hogan. Love how you guys are peeling the layers and attacking this subject or attacking this topic. If people call you guys haters, they just ignorant. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we tried our best to kind of see it from an even scale. Yeah.
Right. And even try to explain where we're coming from. And I think, again, people are just not going to understand or get it.
Exactly.
Or be open-minded to like understanding and like doing your research and see where it comes from. It comes from somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Got a bunch of comments I wanted to highlight here. A lot of people learning different stuff. We got Negro Buck who says shout outs to y'all again, THH fam. This is the most authentic, layered and constructive conversation we could have had about this subject. We also got Laslo who says Laslo who says he made a mistake. He made one mistake 10 years ago. People aren't genuine. Not at all. We got Isaiah's World who says need y'all in Grap City collab. We've had both we've had Reg, we've had Phil all on our channel. Love to do a collab with them, work with them again, because those guys are awesome. Definitely support Grap City. We also got Old Nutty who says all the black YouTube wrestling media I've seen are pretty much in sync with y'all thoughts on Terry. So glad to hear it. Glad to,
Yes,
as it should be.
That's good to hear. I'm happy that everyone is on the same accord, but I think once it happened, Black Twitter went crazy.
Yo, it was wild. That day, Thursday was crazy for Black Twitter. I had never seen anything like it.
Yo, those tweets, man.
Everything been like on like 100.
Yo, they even shared that clip with the video game where all the black wrestlers were beating up Hogan in like the
Yes.
Royal Rumble. That's I was like, damn.
The best one I seen was Hogan when he visited the Dungeon of Doom, and it said Hogan visiting hell.
Yeah, I know it's just crazy because I know what was it? People were even getting upset that they were sharing his last appearance on WWE TV was the first night of Netflix. People were getting upset that people were sharing that, like.
Him being booed out this
like, was there to be upset about? It happened. It's on footage. It happened.
And it had literally like he was there, like the convention was maybe like a week or two before that appearance, and then it was the Netflix debut. So it was tied into the two, and they was like, bro, we just seen you acting a whole fool over there, and you expect us to like cheer you? Nah, son. You get the smoke too.
Yeah, and then what was it too? Was that I think there was people who were trying to gaslight it, saying like, "Oh, you see, like you all should be ashamed of yourselves for booing him because now he's gone." And it's just like, so fucking what? They booed him, and so what? Like it happened. Like it happened, and it was because of his actions. That's why he was booed out of the building. Why do people ignore that part? They didn't boo him because they didn't want Hulk Hogan. They booed him because of what he's become, like what he became. Yeah. That's why they booed him out. Like we gotta stop ignoring that part too. And when I pointed that out, the person blocked me.
Of course they did. Of course they did. Oh, we got a bunch of people in the chat. Keep commenting, keep showing us some love in the chat. We enjoy interacting with you guys. And if you want to talk more about Hulk Hogan, definitely send a super chat donation. If you have any thoughts, any hot takes, any opinions that you want to have read out, that's the best way to do it. But we got to talk about the rest of the news throughout the wrestling world before we get into Monday Night Raw. The matches that will take place on both night 1 and 2 of SummerSlam next weekend have been announced. This year's WWE SummerSlam event will take place from MetLife Stadium, the first ever 2-night SummerSlam event taking place on August 2nd and 3rd. A number of matches have since been announced for the card, but which night each match would take place had not yet been announced until yesterday. WWE hosted a SummerSlam match reveal show, revealing which matches would take place on each respective night of the show. On top of that, WWE also officially announced a match between Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn for the same show. The matches taking place on night 1 are Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez defending the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Gunther defending the World Heavyweight Championship against CM Punk. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Roman Reigns and Jey Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Tiffany Stratton defending the WWE Women's Championship against Jade Cargill, and the aforementioned Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. The matches on night 2 will be Dominic Mysterio defending the Intercontinental Championship against AJ Styles, John Cena defending the undisputed WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes, Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship inside of a steel cage, Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria, no DQ, no count out for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, and Naomi versus Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's World Championship.
That was on a Sunday night.
Yep. There is currently seemingly one more match that will be announced, and that was announced on last night's show, which was the TLC matchup with the SmackDown Tag Team Division. That will most likely be on night 2 of SummerSlam. But speaking of SummerSlam, it will be held over 2 nights next weekend, and they haven't specified which matches would be the main event of the show, but Thursday's edition of the Wrestling Observer Radio addressed it. According to Meltzer, as of June 29th, the last internal card he saw was for WWE SummerSlam Night 2 to be headlined by John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Meanwhile, CM Punk challenging Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship will headline Night 1. And then as far as news in regards to SummerSlam matches that have been made as of late, we've seen Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. They have been teaming up, and they will be challenging for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships at SummerSlam. According to Dave Meltzer in Friday's edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, WWE originally had a different idea in mind for Charlotte and Alexa. Meltzer reported that the original idea was for Charlotte Flair and Alexa splitting up right away and feuding with each other. They would have had a match at SummerSlam. However, it appears that plans changed, and the tag team is continuing for the moment and receiving a title shot. Meltzer noted that since Charlotte and Alexa are doing so well right now as a team, WWE figured that they don't have to rush a feud between the two women. He compared the situation between Matt Riddle and Randy Orton as RK Bro, noting how it was originally meant to only last 3 weeks, but it ended up lasting much longer after getting over. Additionally, Meltzer noted that the plans for Charlotte and Alexa to have a feud have been delayed. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss previously competed for the titles in a fatal 4-way at WWE Evolution earlier this month, with Rodriguez and Perez retaining the titles there. And then finally, we had some news in regards to AAA. A lot of news. An update has emerged for plans involving Omos going to AAA. Part of those future plans appear to involve Omos heading over to Mexico for Lucha Libre AAA. According to Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the plans have been discussed but are not yet set in stone. Regarding Omos in AAA, according to those in WWE Creative, the idea of him coming there has been talked about, but is not definitive, and at this point, no dates have been scheduled. WWE acquired AAA earlier this year with the announcement, the official announcement on the WrestleMania 41 Countdown show. Omos initially signed with WWE in January 2019 and would make his debut in June of the following year, going on to win the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships with AJ Styles. Speaking of AAA, WWE announced on Friday night on social media after SmackDown that AAA Tag Team Champions Los Garza will have an open challenge for the titles on next week's SmackDown. This would be the first time that AAA titles would be defended on WWE television since the acquisition of AAA. And also on last night's AAA show, Dominic Mysterio made a surprise appearance in Mexico to attack Dragon Lee after he came out and confronted El Hijo del Vikingo. El Grande Americano was also featured on the show, and he attacked Vikingo to set up Vikingo versus Dom versus El Grande Americano versus Dragon Lee in a 4-way for the AAA Mega Championship coming up at Triple Mania next month, August 16th in Mexico. So the merger is happening, and it's happening before our eyes here.
When did Ludwig Kaiser become
damn, you were away that long?
I'm
I seen it. I was like, what? Why did that I knew. I was like, So what happened to what's the name? Is that supposed to all like throw us off? You keep putting them in different people's.
No, he had Chad had a shoulder injury.
Gotcha.
So instead of Chad
Chad
having a
is out
shoulder
for the year.
injury, and then having to explain how Americano also has a shoulder injury, they just put somebody else under the mask.
Two different sizes, and one is much taller. I was like, these guys are idiots. Like they don't think that we know what they're doing. Like, and you can see people's demeanor and how they like.
No, that's I'll give them credit. It's part of the joke. That's the joke.
Yeah, because I think Queen of the Ring, she was over it. She wrote a tweet about it. That she was just like, yeah, this shit needs to be done. But then I think but she actually was in agreement with me. I said that the character, I was like, the biggest problem is that it's not Chad Gable. I was like, that's the biggest problem because Chad Gable added charisma to the character.
To the whole
Ludwig Kaiser
being a part of the whole thing. Like,
Ludwig is a good. Yeah, like Ludwig is a. I think Ludwig is a good talker. In my opinion, I think he's a good talker, but he doesn't add like the charisma. He doesn't add the charisma. Like he doesn't add to the comedy to what the character is. Chad was perfect at that. I was like, and that's what hurts it. That's what hurts it. But
and that's why the gimmick needs to be over, though.
But I will give credit when it's due because yesterday he was trying to get heat, and the crowd just completely turned on him. And they actually got him over. Like that was that was kind of like what the fuck just happened? He was trying to get heat, and then the crowd just went along with it.
Someone said something about so I get like so they're gonna have the 2 nights. He's staying with the 5-match spiel, no problem.
It was like 6. It was like 6 each.
Oh,
I think it's 7 on night 1, if I'm not
mistaken. Is it 7? I thought it was like 6. Last time I counted it was 6. Okay. But night 1.
No, you're right. You're right. It is 6. It's right? 6 and 6 now.
It just So Krssi saw I made the face. She saw I made the face about SummerSlam. She saw I made a face, and I was just like night 1. I was like, oh, who's going on?
I wasn't impressed with either night when it was first presented.
By default,
I do agree. Night 2 has more of the stars and has more of the title matches, so I understand why.
I see why they put Roman.
It's just a lot of
because it's more the star power for him and Jay. They're gonna get big pops, so that's
you know what it is. It's a lot of like Raw and SmackDown matches on there. Like you put Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross on SummerSlam, like
right, I think it was like someone on the chat was like, well, what's the point of like having a pre-show if you're not gonna have matches on the pre-show? You understand what I'm saying? Like you have a pre-show, you have matches that could be on it, like Julia and Zelina could easily be on the pre-show. I guess they're gonna wait for people because you're gonna probably do like a 2-hour pre-show. You don't need a 2-hour pre-show.
They probably just don't want Zelina on because she sucks. So I understand.
You know what? Okay, see.
I knew he was gonna say that. I knew.
They're gonna get 50,000 people. You think they're gonna pay for a Zelina match? Fuck no. They're gonna walk out.
But it's like her. Okay, fine, whatever.
I mean, it's an armpit of New York, it's New Jersey, so it's not really the same.
You almost made me choke.
Oh,
not the armpit. Listen, okay.
Come on.
All I'm just saying is,
hey, in the chat, I'm just saying, have you guys been to New Jersey? New Jersey is not great. It's not great.
All I'm saying is, for a 2-night show, for making people come out there 2 nights for this big arena, make a pre-show. Like you don't have to have them talk about the same shit.
I agree.
They're gonna record, or like they're gonna have a pre-recorded thing of all the matches of before they do the actual show.
Or a great idea is a pre-show they could use TNA because they're already fucking them anyway. So just put on pre-show.
Know what? See, Jesus fucking Christ! Like
Did you watch my intro yet, Krssi?
No, I did not watch the intro to the show. No.
I thought that was what you were doing earlier on, but
no, I watched the wrestling. Matter of fact, okay, let me go watch the intro. Let me watch from the beginning.
Raw on Netflix this week. Last week's show did 2.7, so it was up from the week prior. The show this week featured CM Punk kicking off the broadcast to address his SummerSlam title match, only to be interrupted by the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther, who said that he was the real best in the world because he has the title. He plans on choking out Punk next weekend and beating him to prove his point that he is the best in the world because of accolades and not because of the cheers from the fans. Becky Lynch made her a proposal to Lyra Valkyria for SummerSlam that if she loses, she will never get another shot at Becky's WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. But Lyra accepted and made a counter offer for their match to be no DQ, no countout. This led to Becky accepting and trying to attack Lyra, only for Valkyria to lay her out with the manhandle slam. That segued nicely into the Judgment Days. Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez defeating Lyra and Bayley to retain the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, thanks to an assist from Becky Lynch getting a measure of revenge on Lyra there. The show opened, the opening matchup saw Sheamus beat Rusev in a very good, hard-hitting opening matchup with Sheamus knocking the hell out of Rusev with a big bro kick right to the jaw. You also had LWO picked up a win over the New Day and the Creed brothers to become the #1 contenders for the World Tag Team Championships. Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer had another very good matchup. Unfortunately, once again, ending in a no contest after Chelsea Green and the Secret Hervis came out to attack Stephanie Vaquer. Io and Stephanie both teamed up together to fight them off, only for WWE Women's World Champion Naomi to attack from behind. She went after Io, which led to Rhea Ripley coming out to make the save to stand tall with the other two top baby faces. And the show closed with Paul Heyman coming out with the Braun Stars to confront Roman Reigns. First time these two men have spoken since WrestleMania 41, where Heyman tried to invite Roman as the new leader of his dangerous alliance, only for Roman to say that he is no longer a wise man and now a dumbass, and how Paul Heyman is responsible for ruining the bloodline, and that Paul Heyman never helped him hold on to the WWE Championship for 4 years. He said Sammy helped, the Solo Sikoa helped, the Usos helped, but Paul Heyman never helped him. I guess he forgot the Last Man Standing match at Royal Rumble 2021, but okay. This led to Braun Breaker stepping... That's a Braun Breaker stepping up and telling Roman that he is the new big dog and that he won't allow him to talk like that, and that Paul Heyman won't betray him like he did to Roman. He told Roman to do what he does best and leave, which Roman responded with the Superman punch and went after Bronson Reed, only for Braun to lay him out with the spear just when it looked like Bronson Reed was about to deliver a tsunami to the OTC. It led to Jey Uso coming out to make the save, with the former Bloodline members standing tall, setting up the tag team matchup for SummerSlam. I did not like this episode of Raw, and I don't think going over it now, 5 days later, just confirmed I did not like this episode of Monday Night Raw.
It was background noise for me, but SP, I thought you was about to cry during the intro. Well done. Bravo.
5-day motion and everything, right?
Yeah, you had me convinced. I saw it. I was like, wow. He was like, oh yeah, TNA's being buried. Hit the music.
Try my best.
I was like, did we get majority of those matches correct? Like,
I think we did get a lot of them correct. We were all on the same page. We were like, TNA's not going to do the right thing. Not going to have Santana win. We'll talk about that in a bit here. Any thoughts on Raw this week, Josh?
I mean, yeah, I didn't like it that much. Even the last segment, there was just something about it all around that I did not like. For some reason, like, it's cool to when you see Roman, it's always cool, but then I'm like, it was just a promo he was cutting. I'm just like, is this motherfucker supposed to be a face or a heel? Because what he did was just heel tactics. It was heel.
He gaslit Paul Heyman and the fans.
Yeah, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like the motherfucker got revisionist history. And like that's why it comes off like heel, because what he did was heel tactics. Like heels do what he did, because it's like now you're just completely making up what the fuck you just said. Like we all know that's bullshit what you just said. And then I think Braun, I don't know. I didn't like the promo that much. He just kind of sounded like a dork. Like
we already know how I feel about Braun, so like let's
I thought Braun was honestly the better of the two.
Yeah, it was just I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it was something about it. I was just like, it kind of made me feel like, all right, them having a tag team match instead of like one-on-one, instead of Roman being just facing Braun Breaker. I actually don't mind too much of the tag team match. I thought it kind of made it more interesting, at least for me. I'm just speaking for myself.
We have
at
to
least
do it that way because we don't supposedly have Seth, so you have to.
And then and then you had Jay. You had Jay cut that thing on Instagram, which was hilarious. He was zooted for that shit. He's a tribal chief. Man, Jay Uso. Yee. Like, yo, he was out of it. You could tell. He was done. He was like, yo, he was cooked. But I mean, besides that, I mean, the Lyra and Becky Lynch stuff, it just
I'm over it.
It seems like it's running its course.
I want it to be done.
Both ladies work well together, so they're gonna kill it.
But I'm over the whole thing though. Like we've dragged this on almost just like 3 months now. Like
yeah,
let it go.
For me, when
be on
feuds,
with it, like
for me, like when I don't mind like when feuds are like long, but what I do mind is when it kind of just feels like you're running in circles. That's where it kind of starts. That's where it kind of starts dying. And for me, it just feels like the whole thing is just running in circles to the point I'm just like, all right, yeah, like wrap this shit up. That's how I feel about that.
It was not a
Bailey,
good week.
She can't catch a break. Bailey is not going to get anything out of this whole ordeal.
Bailey, I'm not going to be questioning. I'm not going to be questioning her until this deal is over. When this deal is over, and if she chooses to resign with WWE, I'm wiping my hands.
At that point, it's on you, sis. Like it's gonna be. But I do, I'm like, hey, I'm a advocate for months. I'm even tweet. I'm like, Bailey, just go to AEW, please. Like join Mercedes, like please. Like you ladies will make a great, you guys will make a great duo. He might even bring the tag team titles for the women.
I'm about to say he might bring tag titles for them. That'd be great. Like, once she comes and he'll have a tournament and they'll be the winners. Be great. And
just for her. We got an update on another Bloodline member, The Rock. An update on The Rock potentially returning to WWE TV ahead of the SummerSlam PLE. The Rock has not appeared on WWE television since the Elimination Chamber Premium Live event on March 1st, where he was the mastermind behind John Cena's heel turn on Cody Rhodes to close the show. Rock has been mentioned a number of times on WWE TV since then, but he has not made an appearance, including during the main event of WrestleMania 41, where Cena defeated Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. With Cena and Rhodes rematch set for SummerSlam, there have been speculation about Rock potentially showing up for the match, but it seems that is not the case. Per Corey Haynes of Bodyslam.net, there is no indication that The Rock is scheduled to return to WWE at SummerSlam or in the near future. It was Travis Scott who appeared by himself for the main event of WrestleMania without The Rock, after also being involved in Cena's heel turn at the Elimination Chamber. But it also seems that Travis Scott won't be coming back to SummerSlam or to WWE at all. Drew McIntyre recently took shots at Travis Scott, calling him a piece of shit for ruining the main event of WrestleMania 41. Scott was widely criticized for how long it took him to get to the ring to interfere in the matchup. However, this is the first time a WWE superstar has been so outwardly negative about him. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, there has been a complete falling out between Scott and WWE, although details as to why have remained undisclosed. This is why it's now considered open season for stars like McIntyre to take shots at him. Scott was originally set to be the celebrity surprise in WWE's 2K25's New Wave Pack DLC. However, he was removed and El Grande Americano took his spot. Alistair Black was also added to the game as a replacement for Scott. Sources close to the situation noted that while several celebrities, including 3 NBA players, are featured in the game, fans have expressed a preference for wrestlers over celebrities. Still, WWE hopes that including high-profile celebrities will attract their large fan bases to the game. What do you think about Travis Scott already having a falling out with WWE? I'm somewhat not surprised, but still surprised. I don't know if that makes sense.
I'm not really surprised. I mean, I never really wanted to see him on screen. Like, I never hit the fact of that. But it's one of those things where I've been hearing it for a while. I've been hearing that he doesn't get the business. Apparently, he was trying to do whatever he was trying to do while like having like wrestling in place for him, and it rubbed people the wrong way. I just think that the way he went about it isn't the way that like Bad Bunny went about it. Like, you could tell Bad Bunny loves the business. He loves wrestling. I don't think Travis Scott loves wrestling. I think that's the difference.
He probably likes wrestling, but not loves it. Like,
but then also a big part of it is that he did have like a relationship with Ari. Like Ari, like that was his biggest.
Yeah. Oh, he's frozen. Oh, he got frozen there. Travis Scott heard him talking this. He broke into the internet and cut off his Wi-Fi. Shouldn't be talking shit about Travis Scott. And he brought up Ari Emanuel. Shit, can't be talking about Ari Emanuel. He'll come up.
So not only so basically Travis doesn't really get along with Ari, and he didn't really want to commit to like, I guess, like learning or doing the stuff. And he was all right, to hell with this. We'll go with the next better person. Jelly Roll.
He's too busy making bad music. Anyway, this week's edition of the Wrestling Observer.
You've been trying to tell people about Travis Scott a long time ago, so you know.
He tried to stop it. Yeah. Fuck Travis Scott for stopping my internet.
Did you listen to the Clips album, Krssi?
Fire!
I said my first 10 out of 10 in like a decade.
Yo, like every song is great job. The production, everything well done.
Yeah, I remember I listened to Clips when I was like in 6th grade, and they haven't lost the stuff.
They gotten better.
I think better. Yes,
better.
All the time. Yes.
I was like, what we should do to get his brother to come back?
Yep. Well, he told the story in Birds Don't Sing that he went to his father and his father gave him the blessing. This week's edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter has an update on WWE's plans for its next generation of future headliners. Dave Meltzer reports on the superstars WWE is planning to groom into its next generation of future headlining stars. Currently, WWE is focusing on headliners such as Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk, along with John Cena, who is retiring at the end of the year. Besides those aforementioned superstars, Dave Meltzer reports that WWE is currently seeking to groom Rhea Ripley, Jacob Fatu, and Braun Breaker into becoming the people working with the aforementioned stars, along with eventually taking those main event slots. Meltzer noted that Ripley is the obvious face of the women's division and moving forward in the long term. He also speculated that Breaker being paired up with Heyman is they can ease the second generation superstar into longer promo segments. Additionally, Meltzer notes that Breaker has been a personal project for Paul Heyman for quite some time. Jacob Fatu is currently scheduled for a rematch against Solo Sikoa at SummerSlam. It will be a steel cage matchup. Rhea Ripley will challenge newly crowned WWE Women's World Champion Naomi and former champion Io Sky in a triple threat at the event, while Breaker is teaming up with Bronson Reed to face Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. And then we had a new update on Karrion Kross. A new report has an update on his contract signings as well as Scarlett. As previously reported, the couple's contracts are set to expire in August. Fightful Select reports that as of now, several talent in wrestling say that they've spoken with Kross, and he claims that no deal has been signed as of yet. The report goes on to note that those acts within WWE said things are being kept very quiet. Kross is being regularly featured on WWE and has new merchandise, often indicating that a deal is done or close to. Kross also told those that asked him that as of last week, he and Scarlett have not yet been approached for a new deal. At least 6 people in the industry have confirmed that they received the same response when they asked either of the two. As of now, there are still creative plans for Kross and Scarlett for the two on WWE TV. And of course, we said earlier, he will be facing Sami Zayn at WWE SummerSlam coming up next weekend. And then finally, we had a report on Stephanie Vaquer, as there's significant plans for her on Monday Night Raw. Vaquer signed with WWE in July of 2024 and would initially work on NXT until she was called up in May. Having recently earned a title shot at WWE Evolution for Clash in Paris, it now seems that there are big plans afoot for the star. According to WrestleVotes Radio, a significant push is in the works for Vaquer. They said WWE has significant plans for Stephanie Vaquer heading into the fall. Marketing and creative services have already presented her with several character upgrades, including refinements to her overall presentation, though her signature horns are expected to remain part of the look. The report also notes that Vaquer was involved in a push to position her as a top star through her interview with Stephanie McMahon at WWE Evolution. WrestleVotes also notes, we're also told the post-match interview with Stephanie McMahon at Evolution was done initially as a way to elevate Vaquer by placing her alongside McMahon and position her as a major star moving forward. I mean, that seems like a no-brainer. She's like one of the best wrestlers in the women's division. Like, why wouldn't you do that?
You don't also need to put her next to Stephanie McMahon to like elevate anything.
Well, Josh, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Stephanie McMahon invented women's wrestling.
Fuck that. Maybe in her mind, and maybe some of these WWE fans' minds, they're insane. It's insane. And she was trashed that night too. So I'm like, she didn't need no damn Stephanie McMahon to elevate anything.
Nope. They only did that because of the show. They had to
they're
fill.
They're gonna try to sell me with that bullshit, like their revisionist history of that show. Fuck that.
As much as they keep saying that she wants to not be a part of the business, she always fucking there.
Always.
Her husband's always got to insert themselves in something.
She doesn't even work with she doesn't even work.
That's what
I'm
saying.
She's not even corporate. She's not even corporate anymore. She's not even corporate anymore. They're still trying to make her something.
That's what I'm. Like, hello. That's what I'm
trying
to
get that shit off the screen. Like I'm sick of looking. I'm sick of seeing Stephanie McMahon at this point. I'm sick.
It happens. WWE NXT, they did 747,000 viewers, so up significantly in the ratings, and that came a lot due to the special guest on this show. The show featured The Undertaker coming out to confront Trick Williams in the ring, with Undertaker getting the better of Trick by delivering a chokeslam. Really put over Trick with that. JC Jane had her first promo since becoming a double champion and was confronted by Lash Legend and Jada Parker, who got into a brawl with Fatal Influence to position themselves as the next challengers for the NXT Women's Championship. The Culling beat Zaruka, Hank, and Tank in a 8-person tag thanks to a distraction from Dark State. Blake Monroe, yes, Blake Monroe, not Monica Monroe, made her in-ring singles debut in a win. That was Booker T, because Monica Monroe is a wrestler for Reality of Wrestling. He didn't know the difference.
You know what? Okay.
She scored a win over Ren Sinclair. Post-match, Jordan Grace, who was banned from the arena, showed up and started to beat down security until Monroe hit her with a chair and then delivered a double arm DDT on the chair. Jasper Troy defeated Ricky Saints via countout after Saints fell through the stage and Troy delivered a senton on top of him. Ethan Page cut an in-ring promo to reveal his new redesign of the NXT North American Championship with a Canadian flag strap until TNA Director of Authority Santina Morella showed up and interrupted to challenge Page for the title for next week's show. And Obafemi beat Josh Briggs and Yoshihiko Inamura in a good triple threat main event to retain the NXT Championship. And then finally, you had WWE Evolve. The show featured Swipe Right picking up a win over Jordan Oasis and Brooks Jensen in the main event. You also had Kendall Gray beat Zeta Steel in one-on-one competition. Adrenaline Drip defeated Sam Holloway and It's Gall in a very fun tag team bout. Probably one of the better matches that they've had on Evolve. But, I mean, NXT, they had a whole bunch of old niggas on that show. I felt like I was watching something from 2008.
Why did they have Michelle and
Bully Ray
Undertaker there?
And Bully Ray? Why is Bully Ray here?
Yep. Why is Bully Ray here?
And why is Santino here?
I'm not mad at Santino, but the rest of them, like, come on, guys, like
they all old niggas. They all old niggas on this supposed to be a young show.
To be honest, the Santino thing was more of like, it's one of those things where it's like I wasn't like annoyed with it.
Right, that's exactly. The other ones I was like super annoyed. I'm just like,
no, but you know what it is? It was more like, all right, you're supposed to be some kind of authority figure for TNA. So you came out, you had basically 3 of your wrestlers who, one lost the title, and then 2 of them lost to a TNA talent on your own show. Yep. And yeah, your response was, I'm gonna challenge you for your title. All right, cool. Thank you.
He's the only one that can challenge for a NXT title. Yeah, it just feels like NXT does not know what it wants to be anymore.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
You know what's crazy? Somebody said that, and somebody said that they lost our identity. Ever since
they have an identity crisis. They have these weeks where they have a whole bunch of nostalgia acts show up to pop the rating, but the rating doesn't stay consistent because they're not going to be here every week. Then they want to have people from TNA, they want to have people from Evolve, from WWE ID, and it's like that's why they're men's division, because all the top men have gone to either Raw or SmackDown, or they're over in NXT, they're over in TNA now.
Trick Williams feels like he matters more. He feels like he's like the top
Trick Williams of
the company.
Trick Williams is a super senior. He should not be on NXT anymore.
Oh my God, they should have been called his ass up. Like, why do they still have him there?
He's like the football player that's like in his 8th year of eligibility in the NCAA. Like, that's what Trick Williams is. But it's the fact that Trick Williams feels more important with the TNA title than Obafemi feels like with the NXT title. Like, that's pretty sad. Exactly what they're doing. That's pretty sad. Like, almost North American run was way better than this. Like, he's still putting on good matches. Don't get me wrong. He's putting on great performances. It's just that it just feels so fucking secondary. Like, and that shouldn't have been a thing. Like, it feels so secondary. Ever since, like, again, like the partnership, people want to get, this person just showed up to NXT or vice versa. But it's like, at this point, it's like when people want to talk about like the fucking partnership, we all saw like what partnership was. It was not going to be a good thing. It still gets people excited. That's good for them. I saw the bullshit a long time ago. And guess what? They proved the bullshit on July 20th.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. In fact, yes, TNA Slammiversary. The show featured Leon Slater defeating Moose in what was an excellent encounter to become the youngest TNA X Division champion of all time. Post-match, you had Moose showing respect to Slater by putting the X Division title around his waist, what was basically a babyface turn from Moose. Mm-hmm. Then you had AJ Styles made his return to a huge pop, and the whole sold out crowd singing his song by coming out to endorse Slater as the future of the X Division. Mustafa Ali beat Cedric Alexander in what was a very good opener to the show, thanks to a distraction from Tasha Steelz. Indy Hartwell picked up a win over Tessa Blanchard in what was a horrible matchup, but post-match, Indy was interviewed by Gia Miller before Tessa attacked Hartwell and the interviewer Gia until she was removed from the scene by security. Later, she was suspended by Santino. Matt Cardona and the System defeated Dark State, In an 8-man tag team matchup, the Hardys beat the Nemesis, First Class, and the Rascals in a very fun ladder match to win the TNA World Tag Team Championships that had one of the craziest ladder drops I've ever seen by AJ Francis. Then post-match, Bully Ray came out to make a challenge to the Hardys to face Team 3D at Bound for Glory. Yes, more old niggas.
More old shit.
JC Jane picked up a win over Masha Slamovich to retain the NXT Women's Championship and win the TNA Knockouts World Championship to become a double champion. And finally, in New York City, Trick Williams defeated Joe Hendry and Mike Santana in Mike Santana's hometown of New York in a triple threat match to retain the TNA World Championship in what had to be one of the most puzzling decisions in quite some time from TNA in a history of puzzling decisions by TNA. TNA Impact this week, they had a live episode. The show features Santino kicking off the show with Masha Slamovich interrupting to get a shot at the TNA Knockouts Championship next week. Then the System came out to officially turn babyface and announced that they will stand on the front line against the NXT talent who are currently holding their top titles. This brought out Trick Williams with First Class to insult the System before they challenged them to a matchup. Order 4 then came out and got into a brawl with the System. Later, we had the Great Hands of Order 4 picked up a win over the major players, Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, thanks to their newest member of Ali's Secret Service. Santino also announced that the System will face Trick and First Class next week. The Inspiration teamed with the returning Mara Sade, aka the former Jakara Jackson, to pick up a win over the Elegance brand in trios action. It was announced that Mara has officially signed with TNA. Jake Something beat Mance Warner in a fun no DQ matchup, while Mike Santana defeated Joe Hendry in a solid first time ever singles main event. TNA is going to TNA. I'm still puzzled in a 2-decade run of some of the most stupidest decisions I've seen in wrestling. This was one of them. TNA not having Mike Santana win and basically becoming the bitch. They feel like they're in a cuckold relationship with WWE.
WWE has them by the balls. They're holding them. They have them tight. They have the cajon. They have it in their hand. They're like cupping it right at this point in the game.
But is it helping TNA? Because, like, I mean, you'll hear the TNA fan base be like, well, we just had our biggest show. You know, the Slammiversary did 7,600 fans. It's their largest audience that they've ever had for Slammiversary. It's one of their largest audience ever in North America. So is it helping TNA to be buried by WWE and be the bitch to WWE? Like fucking this picture here of Trick standing with the president, where the president looks like he's sitting in a cuck chair while Trick fucks his wife.
You know what?
What do you think?
But we kind of called it last week when we said that, you know, for this particular match, they're probably not going to give it to Mike because of just them being just them. Like, and it's probably like Paul and Sean in the background that's like making these decisions. Oh yeah, let's just make Trick like still the winner. Like, first of all, Trick shouldn't even be on NXT. Let's just, like you said, let's just call that like just what it is. Him being on TNA, that's perfectly fine. Sure. Great. But the fact that you now made all of their titles on WWE people is just like blasphemy. Except for like the tag titles, I think, right? Like,
no, there's a few titles there, but their top 2 titles is on
top
WWE.
2 titles. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, do JC Jane really need 2 titles? Like, is she that good? I don't think so.
I think she's good. I just don't think she's 2 titles good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is she that good? No, I don't think so. quite honest, she can wrestle, but I don't think she deserves 2 titles. I was quite surprised when they gave her the first title. I thought they should have gave it to the other one, but whatever. That's just me. And what's the point of having Jordan Grace there if you're not going to give her the title? Like, you made her leave TNA. You took her. You brought her over. You let Julia and Stephanie go up. So you left her there. Just floating in, Neverland. Just there, and she got nothing. Now Homegirl got 2 belts. And she still ain't got nothing. Like, what are we doing? you get it? Like, and now, like you said, we have more old people. Like, do we need the Hardys and the Dudleys to go against each other? Like, in a ladder match? Is that what we're doing?
Oh, I'm gonna get to
like
that.
These guys are in their 50s and 60s. Do we need this? No, at all. No. You got a lot of young guys that's in the back that can really give you some matches, and we're putting these guys out there for Bound for Glory.
Josh, you got something to say?
I mean, in regards to everything, right? When it came to Slammiversary, right? There was a lot of weeks where I was trashing it because they weren't doing great ticket sales. They weren't doing great in their numbers, right? So they get closer to the show. They make the announcement of AJ Styles going to be there. Then tickets started moving. Then, they use the 76,000 number of like, oh, this is our biggest audience in North American history. It was more like 71,000, but give or take, it was supposed to be an all positive night, right? This was TNA having finally some momentum, right? That they've been begging for 23 years, right? And what did they do? They decided to take a big shit right in the middle of the ring once again. I'm not surprised with that bullshit. Like, I'm not surprised because it's fucking TNA. TNA has had the reputation that it does because they never want to strike while the iron is hot or just make some fucking sense into this shit. When I noticed this shit with TNA, when I started watching TNA, was like the Jeff Jarrett shit, right? That was annoying within itself, and I get that he was the owner, and they felt like, oh no, we need a heel that's gonna like want people to come in, and when he loses the title, it's a big thing. The first moment you probably had that was with Raven, and then you didn't even like you fucking blew it. You blew it to the point that you didn't make him champion until like what 3 years later. At that point, nobody gave a fuck. Nobody gave a fuck at that point. Then you had Samoa Joe, who had a
no. You're forgetting Marty Brown. Marty Brown was the next one.
Look at that, Marty Brown. They never even committed to Marty Brown for anything. Like, and I think that's why I forget, because Marty Brown, right? Regardless of like, I don't like, he was entertaining in his own way, but I fucking love the pounce that he did. That was one of the best pounces in the business. You had momentum when it came to that, and you decided not to do anything with the man, right? Let alone like, oh, make him world champion. You didn't do nothing with him, right? Then you had Samoa Joe. You made him to this big deal. He had an undefeated streak, and in your first feud, you put him up with Kurt Angle. Now, don't get me wrong; those matches were great. Both guys worked great together, but it's the fact that you had this man who's going to be the face of the company, and your first feud is, hey, we just signed this guy from WWE. They're one of their biggest stars from WWE. Let's get some momentum, and let's put Kurt Angle over. Let's make it about Kurt Angle. That's what the fuck you did, right? And then everything else is like, what else am I forgetting? Bobby Roode, James Storm. Like, this is their fucking track record. Joe Henry as early as last year, right? So it's like
they literally just did this with Joe Hendry, where they missed the peak of Joe Hendry.
And then it's like what I'm getting tired of fans doing too is like this whole Bound for Glory bullshit. Joe Henry lost a Bound for Glory last year. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't fucking matter what they do. Like Bound for Glory, they try to make it's like the rest. No, the fuck, it's not. It's not the WrestleMania. Why? Because it can't even draw 8,000 fucking people for Bound for Glory. So don't give me that shit that this is WrestleMania. Fuck that. And then do we forget Bound for Glory?
It's only their WrestleMania because they said it was, not because they earned it.
Did we forget too that in fucking Bound for Glory, this was the same fucking show that fucking when Johnny Impact finally won the title, Austin Aries sold him in the pen and he walked out. Did we fucking forget that? And he's never been back on TV ever since. So it's like all these fans that want to defend TNA and they've been defending them for 23 years. Like, hey, let's wait. Just wait. They're gonna have some momentum. You know what this shit reminds me of? Remember in fucking Flash where he met his old self and he's like, hey, we almost got it. We're about to save the world. And it never happens. This is TNA. They're TNA where it's like, oh wait, we're gonna get this big real moment. This is gonna be good for us, and they never fucking capitalize. And what's frustrating about Slammiversary was that not only it was your biggest crowd, right? Not only it was your biggest crowd, but it's the fact that you had Mike Santana, a New York kid, who's been committed to TNA. He bet on himself. He bet on himself to go to TNA, and he's done great things for himself in the singles division, right? So you put this title on Trick, right? Not only Trick beats Joe Henry for the title, remind you. Everybody's like, oh, we believe in Joe Henry. We believe in him. You fucking have him lose when NXT talent. Hey, he's going to be a placeholder. Don't worry, guys. This is going to be a big payoff. Slammiversary comes. And not only none of the fucking TNA talent won the match. Remind you, Trick Williams beat 2 TNA talents in that match. Not only that didn't happen, but it was the way that it happened. They did a super ass injury angle where Trick hurt his knee, and Mike and Joe are working, and then all of a sudden Trick comes back, throws him out, and then he pins. Like, that's what you did. You did a fucking TV finish for your biggest show of your history of the company, and you have all these fucking WWE fans who always wanted to fucking defend them, right? The only reason why WWE fans are defending TNA is because of the partnership. They don't give a shit about TNA. That's the biggest difference. So like when they were trying to use like, they did this over AEW, it's like, no, AEW still outdraw them. They still outdraw them in every single aspect. So let's just stop trying to compare AEW and TNA. TNA is never gonna be number 2. No matter what the fuck Eric Bischoff says, no matter what Carl Silva wants to believe, TNA is never going to be number 2. And they're going to have to fucking face the reality. Because even the TV deal he wants, $10 million a year, it don't fucking matter. AEW's getting $185 million a year for their TV deal. So it's like, it doesn't fucking matter when it comes to that. But it's the fact that you have all this momentum and you're fucking, when it comes to fucking WWE, you're letting WWE basically just fuck you on the table. That's all you're doing, because all your all of your fucking, not only your champions lost the belts, but it's like, why am I gonna tune in to TNA? I gotta wait another 3 months for Trick Williams to be fucking champion, so then Mike go fucking win at Bound for Glory in front of a fucking crowd.
That's what I'm walking back into.
You had motherfuckers with Puerto Rican flags and fucking Long Island.
Ready.
Yep. And then you fucking blew it. So now he's supposed to win in fucking Massachusetts? They're pretty racist out there. So you're gonna have him win out there? Really? That's what the fuck you're doing? And then not only that, you have the fucking tag team match. Fucking Bully Ray says the last great tag team match. The fuck you talking about? Devon just had a stroke, and you want this man to have a match? Are you fucking kidding me?
You're right. How about that? You're so. Oh my God, Josh. He did have a fucking. And you want him in a ladder match of all things? A ladder match?
Like, oh my God! Like, believe me, I have my criticisms with the show itself, because honestly, outside of maybe like 2 matches, the show was mid. It was not a great show. Don't get me wrong. It was not a great show. The opening match was a great opening match. Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander, they were they both killed it. And then the X Division title match, both guys killed, the Moose and the young kid.
Yeah, that's what
that was probably the best match of the night. The X Division title match was probably the best match of the night. And that was probably the only worthy pay-per-view match. Besides that, the show was super mid. The fucking women's title match, you know, I love Masha. To me, that was not a great match, in my opinion. I thought it was a really bad match. Both women. And I don't know. There's something about it that it was just like, ugh, like what are we getting? And then you put the double champion as Jace. Don't get me wrong. I think Jessie Jane, I think she's fine, but it's like you couldn't even make the shit even and just give both belts to Masha. Like this is what we're doing, and then you have fucking TNA talent, and you have NXT talents holding both of your top titles, and then like the AJ Styles thing, you know. It's whatever. I knew he was not going to wrestle, but it was a great moment. People paid a ticket to hear his theme. That's fine for them. I was not going to do that shit. I could listen to his theme on YouTube, and I'll be fine. I'm fine with that. But it's the fact that they had all this momentum. They're fucking riding on the coattails of WWE, and then you still fucking blow it. Like this shit was like kind of just like, what the fuck are you guys doing? This is not Marshawn Lynch. Oh, like that's exactly what that is. Matter of fact, with Marshawn Lynch, hey, give the ball to Marshawn Lynch. 1 yard line, you win the Super Bowl. That's what the fuck TNA did. Instead, they didn't even try to pass the ball. You know, they said, you know what? Let's take a knee. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a fucking knee and then blow the Super Bowl. That's what they did. They had all this momentum. All the fucking morale, like the perception, people, what they don't realize, like the perception really would have gone in their favor, and instead they fucking just blew it. And all those fans that want to say, "Hey, let's you know, like what they're doing is they're making us hate WWE." That's part of the storyline. Fuck that, because this is the bullshit that TNA has always done. Don't fucking try to sell me on this bullshit. Don't try to sell me on like, oh, this is done on purpose. No, we all see what's been going on, and we've seen it for a while. Fucking WWE has the upper hand when it comes to all this shit. They're making the decisions for a reason. It's like, and that's why I'm frustrated as a fan, because I knew like all these fans were fucking eating this shit up. Oh my god, NXT, TNA. I knew this bullshit was gonna happen. But it's the fact that you guys choose to ignore it. You guys are seeing TNA being cucked within your own eyes live on TV every fucking week, and you guys decide to say nothing, and you still defend this shit. You still fucking defend it, and that's why it's frustrating as a fan.
Well, you want to get frustrated even more, Josh? Let's talk about Eric Bischoff. During an interview with Ariel Alwadi, yes, we do.
We have to.
Bischoff heavily praised TNA wrestling coming off of the show's Slammiversary. Eric Bischoff expressed his belief that TNA wrestling is one deal away from being a major player, that TNA could overtake AEW as the number 2 promotion in wrestling. Eric Bischoff on TNA and Carlos Silva growing their business. He says they're making a lot of smart decisions. I remember on an announcement when Carlos Silva came on and it was like, okay, we'll see what happens. But they're making a lot of they're growing and they're growing, right? And they're it almost quietly. They're not out there thumping their chest, and they're not talking about taking down the competition and all the crazy stuff, for example, that AEW did at the very beginning. They're just quietly going about their business, producing great shows, bringing in great talent, and getting involved with great partnerships, and they're growing the business. And that's the part that excites me, watching a business grow, especially the wrestling business. Got a little bit of epiphany for it, and so it's been fun watching TNA grow. On TNA potentially becoming a major player, he says they're one deal away from becoming a major player. If they get a broadcast partner, if they get the right broadcast situation, because they've got the product, they know what they're doing. They're a good team of people. They just need a bigger platform, and if they get it, watch them take off. On having written off TNA a long time ago, he says, I'm surprised by it. I wrote them off a long time ago, probably when he was working there. There was no sizzle. There was no steak. There was no plate. There was no pan. There was no anything. By this time next year, I think so. It depends. Talking about TNA, if they get the right TV deal, they can overtake AEW and become the #2 promotion. He says, I think so. It depends on the TV deal with the right television partner on how they define. On how they define the #2 promotion. What's #2? By what revenue, what measure do we define a #2? But I think in terms of television ratings and popularity, yeah, they could be #2 in a minute. On what he thinks TNA is doing better than AEW, he says they're doing the basics. They're producing a show for the mainstream wrestling audience, not for that 10% hardcore sickos that everybody thinks is a cool demo, because it's not.
Tell me I'm a hater without telling me I'm a hater.
This man has never forgiven Tony Khan for not giving him a job.
Just say you cannot stand Tony Khan. Just say you're gonna shit all over his product as many times as you can. Like, bro, are you serious right now? Like, you're saying TNA are giving way better matches and
way better product. They have a good team of people.
They're doing so much better.
They're doing so much better. Yeah, they're doing so much better. They don't mind seeing them on the cut chair. Like that's how that's how much better they're doing, right? It's like fuck that. Like I knew the bullshit that Eric was gonna say, but to try to convince me, oh, they're doing the basics. No, they're fucking not. They're not doing the basics. Because every time TNA, even when they do their pay-per-views, there's always some fuckery in their pay-per-views. Like, or like who are we fooling right now? But it's the fact that obviously he has an angle. He hates AEW. I know why. And it has nothing to do with he said this about Ted Turner. Eric, you don't give a fuck about Ted Turner. Don't bullshit. Don't bullshit yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bullshit yourself. But it's the fact that obviously he has like he has a hate boner. We get it. And it's just like
him.
And if you think a company that's right, because their own president said he thinks realistically they could get about $10 million for a year for the TV deal. You think that's beating $185 million? You think that's beating that? He's a fucking idiot. And this interview just proved that he's a fucking idiot. No matter what. Hey, you can hate the company all you want, but you can't lie about numbers. You can't lie about stats. You can't lie about
numbers don't lie.
Just, and that's the thing that I hate too, is like, regardless of how I feel about TNA, I don't like the fact that TNA is being used to try to shut down another company, or even like using another company to try to shut down TNA. I think if you're going to shut down somebody, just focus on that. But when you try to use certain things like that, then to me, you're just being bad faith. Like recently, I had somebody, like when I talked about like TNA's attendance in general, where I was just like, this company's been around for over 20 years. They should have already had a situation where they had over 10,000 people, at least for a show. And then
they've been around for 23 years and they've never turned a profit. Just start right there. You can start and
that's crazy to me.
On that.
No, I'm saying, no, that's crazy to me. But then they try to use all in was they filled up half a stadium. And I was just like, you sure? Because they drew 30,000 people. That's not half of a baseball stadium.
We had someone on our own team who thought that was half of the stadium.
And it was just like, I don't know, your math ain't mathing to me, because it just sounded like a bad math. AEW did 30,000 people. TNA hasn't even done 10,000 people. So it's like, what are we doing here?
That part.
What are we doing here?
Say it louder for the people in the back.
Like, what are we doing here when it comes to
that can't hear?
And then to me, and that's why like for what TNA is doing, that should be the hey, they're doing this, they're doing that, right? Like Slammiversary should have been a bonus of like, oh wow, they finally drew like their biggest crowd. That should be a thing instead, because they decided to shit the bed. Nobody's really talking about that now. But the fact that Eric Bischoff is using his hate boner to try to put them over. But then what makes it worse, it's not even like I expected this from Eric Bischoff, don't get me wrong. But what makes it worse is that Ariel tries this perception of, oh, I don't hate AEW. I'm not anti-AEW. But yet, in your interview with Eric, you had 0 counter arguments for him. And the only points that you made to him weren't even good, like, counters. And it's just like, bro, this man is lying to you directly to your face. And he lied to you several times. Not only in this interview, but in the last interview, he lied to you. He said that he doesn't watch AEW anymore. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. He even lied on his own podcast that he fucking said that AEW didn't have a deal. There was no deal on the table. And that was a complete lie. Because people like Sonra Sapp, Andrew Zarian, who actually do their jobs, knew that was all bullshit. They knew for months, like, no, they're going to get a deal. It's a matter of when they announce it. He just flat out lied about that. And yet you can't have you having an interview. Why don't you bring that up? Like, hey, you said this about the company. It's not true. That's what you're supposed to do in your interviews. And yet he did none of that shit. He just rolled the red carpet for Eric Bischoff to shit on AEW because Ariel is still upset because TK didn't want to tell him how he felt about Brawl Out. Like, bro, get the fuck over it. This is why Dana White doesn't like you. Like, this is why Dana White doesn't fuck with you. So it's like you need to get over it at this point. Like, yeah, you get interviews, but it's like, bro, you said you hate wrestling yourself, and yet you're doing interviews with people from wrestling. Shut the fuck up already, bro. Like,
oh man. Yeah, our producer was trying to say if we were gonna skip some stories on today's show, he told me to skip the Eric Bischoff one. I was like, nah, couldn't do that. Couldn't do that. We had to bring that up. That can't do that. Final note from TNA in regards to Slammiversary and regards to this relationship. This good relationship for them, I guess. Relationship with WWE. An update has emerged on the partnership between WWE and TNA, saying that a clause had previously been noted as preventing shows from announcing a show or selling tickets until after the WWE show has taken place. Reporting on contract clause previously, it was noted that a clause also exists that prevented promotions from running a certain number of weeks before or after a WWE show, with AEW being specified by Dave Meltzer. It now appears that the clause has been waived specifically for TNA Wrestling, with that company enjoying a business partnership with WWE. Writing in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer looked at TNA Bound for Glory, which takes place on October 12th in Lowell, Massachusetts. Meltzer noted that WWE is running a show in the same venue on August 24th, which is the same day as Forbidden Door, with Bound for Glory being the company's traditionally biggest pay-per-view of the year. Meltzer noted that WWE has previously has seemingly waived the deal that prevents promotion and announcements and ticket sales. Meltzer also stated that the restrictive clause was the reason that AEW was unable to announce its Forbidden Door show taking place at the O2 Arena in London until after WWE ran their shows. AEW Forbidden Door was announced on April 15th. The O2 hosted SmackDown and Raw in March. With WWE and TNA in a multi-year partnership, Meltzer noted how Bound for Glory was brought up on Raw, stating that the partnership between WWE and TNA is a lot deeper than it even looks on television. Elsewhere in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Meltzer discussed the positive impact of WWE on AAA's business in Los Angeles for the Worlds Collide show, making another interesting comment regarding the deepening relationship between TNA and WWE. AAA under WWE drew better in Los Angeles, but is essentially about to be owned by WWE. And some would say the same for TNA, which many have said close to the situation is going to be owned, if not already controlled in the big picture, by WWE. And that has never been denied by the company of the idea of that happening. Both the TNA World and Knockouts World Championships are now owned by WWE wrestlers. I will give it to 2026. What would you feel? 0 to 100 by 2026. WWE announces that they have acquired TNA Wrestling. I'm gonna put it. I'll start the mark at 75%. Krssi.
Where in 2025? Say it again.
by 2026, TNA will be owned by WWE.
Oh, they're already owned by them. What are you talking about? Tell me I'm not your owner.
Okay. I'm specifying announced that they owned TNA.
Oh, okay. That's fair. But tell me I'm not your owner if I'm not your owner. I'm just saying, like, whatever. But definitely will be owned. They'll be making an announcement by January, before the middle of the year. Like just how they have AAA, they own them. Like it's not a partnership. We own you, bitches. Like you're ours now. Like slaves. Like get down or lay down. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have said that. That's probably triggering for people. But anywho, yeah, Josh. I think they're gonna own them, like 100% gonna own them. I'm not even putting like a percentage or like
I'm gonna put like 75%.
Huh?
And I'm putting 75%. And the reason why is because like legally, there's a lot of hurdles that they still got to go over because like right now technically they can't buy them, but there's like little hoops that they have to go by, especially when it comes to the stockholders.
They got people in high places, Josh. Man, you mean to tell me they can't like pay off this person to pay Peter to pay Paul? Come on, Ari gonna make it happen.
But when it comes to stockholders, remember there was a situation with WWE that the stockholders did sue the company. So it's not like a cut and dry situation. But I mean, it's so fucking obvious, especially with Carlos Silva, his stupid ass was in that interview when they asked him about this, and he danced around like he gave a whole paragraph of an answer, and they're like, bro, you could have just said yes. Like you could have just said that. Like we see it. Like we're not stupid. You could wear your stupid little goofy hat. But we all know that you're gonna get fired by them regardless when they get like you're not keeping a job.
No,
like you're not keeping a job with WWE. So might as well wear that stupid hat everywhere you go now, because that's probably gonna be your lasting impression when it comes to wrestling. Because there's no way anybody's hiring that man because he's a fucking idiot.
Couldn't say it better myself. Moving on over to AEW. They only had 2 shows this week. AEW Collision last Saturday. They did 348,000 viewers. The show featured Colt Cabana joining the commentary table, but the Death Riders made him pay for that by attacking him with a steel chain, and bloodying him before Jon Moxley hung him by the chain to make a statement to AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page. Dustin Rhodes kicked off the broadcast to celebrate his TNT title win, but he was interrupted by Kyle Fletcher and Don Callis, who said they were coming for the title. Alex Windsor made her Collision debut in a win over Taya Valkyrie. Post-match, Athena interrupted from the balcony to brag about her guaranteed title shot, which led to Timeless Toni Storm coming out and wanting her to cash in right then and there before chasing her up the balcony. Ricochet picked up a win over AR Fox in a decent bout, while his boys, the Gates of Agony, defeated the Guns and Crew and the Learning Tree in a 4-way tag to win $200,000. Megan Bain secured a win over Ty Mello, while Roosh defeated Katsuyori Shibata in a fun, hard-hitting affair. Thanks to a distraction from LFI, post-match LFI jumped Shibata until Powerhouse Hobbs made the save, and Mascarada Dorada, Bendito, and Jet Speed beat the Don Callis family in an awesome all-star 8-man tag main event. Then we had AEW Dynamite this week. The show was up in the ratings to 608,000 viewers. The show featured Hangman Adam Page kicking off the show with a backstage interview looking for revenge on the Death Riders for what they did to Colt Cabana, until MJF interrupted and confronted him, saying that he'll take his AEW world title shot with or without the contract, until Hangman shut him down and called him a gutless coward. That led to Hangman beating Wheeler Yuta in quick fashion. Post-match, he bloodied Yuta with the same steel chain he used to win the Texas Death Match against Jon Moxley at AEW All in Texas. This led to Moxley cutting a promo promo about wanting a rematch against Page and wanting to see if Hangman can prove himself as the AEW World Champion. Later in the show, you had Mark Briscoe picked up a win over Claudio Castagnoli in a solid main event after a distraction from Darby Allin. Post-match, the Death Riders jumped Briscoe with Moxley calling out Hangman until the champ came out and confronted Mox. Page stated that he believed Mox believes that he thinks Hangman can't hold this title, so he will give him his rematch next week with everyone banned from ringside before walking away to close the show. FTR defeated Jet Speed in a tremendous tag team encounter that was one of the best 2-on-2 tags on AEW TV this year to advance in the world title eliminator tournament. Post-match, Stokely Hathaway insulted Cope for spearing him last week. This led to Cope coming out revealing that he paid off the Hurt Syndicate to beat up FTR since he can't lay his hands on them himself. After a brawl between FTR and the Hurt Syndicate, Cope went to spear Stokes, who pulled the security guard in the way. This led to MJF questioning MVP Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin about helping Cope and how they should be helping him win the AEW World Championship instead. This led to Lashley snapping and choking MJF against a locker before saying that he wants him out of the Hurt Syndicate and gave him the thumbs down. Later, MJF said that he doesn't need Bob or anyone to beat Hangman for the world title without using his contract. However, Mark Briscoe interrupted and challenged Max for next week. MJF turned down Briscoe before insulting him, saying that he's a joke and that it's depressing that no one will ever respect him like they respected his brother Jay, which led to Mark running MJF off. Will Ospreay had an in-ring interview where he revealed that he has 2 herniated discs in his neck after the attack from the Death Riders at All In, which will put him out of action. However, he'll be back in time for Forbidden Door next month, despite needing some rest and recovery. The segment ended with Ospreay and Swerve hugging. Later, Swerve picked up a win over Hechicero due to outside interference from Don Callis' family causing a DQ. Okada attacked Swerve from behind with the steel chair, but Swerve got the better of him, running off the AEW Unified Champion. And finally, Timeless Tony Storm picked up a win over Billy Starks in a decent little matchup. Post-match, Starks attacked Tony with the AEW Women's World Championship. Athena came out and furthered the attack until she wanted to cash in, but Alex Windsor came down to make the save, previewing the ROH Women's World Title match on tonight's Collision. Josh, any thoughts on this week's Dynamite or last Saturday's Collision?
The show with Colt Cabana, like, damn, man hasn't been on AEW TV for ages, and you just had him get his ass whooped in his hometown, Chicago. Great stuff. I was like, damn, bro. I was like, damn, Colt. Like, my bad, bro.
He got the Chuck Taylor treatment. Chuck Taylor just was on TV just to get his ass kicked.
Yo, I was like, damn. I was like, you know, it was cool seeing him. Like, I was happy to see him. I always love Colt Cabana, even in person. He's a fantastic guy meeting. But besides that, I mean, what I've been liking too is they've been making Hangman feel not only, you know, obviously, you know, we've been saying like how he's the top babyface, but his title reign so far has only been 3 weeks, but it does feel like he's finally like the top guy, that they're focused on that. That's what I love about it. And I hope to keep the momentum going, because even an announcement with John Moxley and Hangman having a match and these guys are barred, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it at all. I think it's a great blow off to have. But again, like, making him feel important, not only the matches, but featured a lot throughout the shows. And, you know, that's what we've been wanting for it. Mm-hmm. And so far, I think they've been doing a positive thing when it comes to Hangman, meaning something that's champion, because we always know the title chase is probably always better than the actual reign. So far, I've been liking what they've been doing.
Krssi, what do you think about Will Ospreay's announcement of the injury? Do you believe him, or do you believe he's going to be back by Forbidden Door? Me personally, I don't believe it's that serious if he's going to be back by Forbidden Door.
Right, I'm about to say it's kind of like, you know, like the Seth Rollins approach, but a better delivery, if that makes sense. These guys just need a little break. They need a little rest. They probably have like something that needs to be like iced up a little bit and elevated, and they just can't keep doing this travel, and they just need sometimes to like decompress. So yeah, if you're gonna be back next month, at the end of the month, I just feel like you just need a little mini vacation. That's all. Rest up, cheer up. You know, you travel across the pond like every week. I'm sure it's getting to you because you know probably hella jet lagged. Like it's probably getting to your body. You need a second to like woosah. But no, I didn't believe it either. So I was like, all right, he probably just need a little time just to relax and rest, which is fair and fine.
Exactly. I forgot to read this super chat donation from our boy Volop, who says, after this week, TNA really showed that they deserve to be shit on.
Yeah, in the face too, like that.
In the face, damn.
Face was great, by the way. He was great on that review. He was great.
Who?
Chase in the Slammiversary review. I wanted to mention that.
Yeah. Chase was awesome. He had some great rants. I have to give him credit for that. Josh, I know you got to run. You want to let everybody know where they can follow you on social media and when they're going to see you again? Yeah,
so you can follow me, JMPunk321, Twitter and Instagram. Next week I actually be out. I'll actually be at the Bronx Anime and Comic Con next weekend. So I'll be back the following Saturday. When is that? So
that
it's
the
9th. The 9th. I'll be back. Yes, I'll be back for the 9th. As far as like the SummerSlam stuff, I might be doing the reviews for that. So I'll probably still be doing the reviews for SummerSlam because I do have the following Monday off. So I guess it's Sunday and Monday I'll be on for the SummerSlam stuff.
Good to hear, sir. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, good brother. And as always, we appreciate you, sir.
Yep. Take care, guys.
Later. Let's finish up with AEW this week with some news. We got Switchblade Jay White may miss more time than expected from AEW. Jay White has been out of action for the last several months with a hand injury. He sustained in a match with Kevin Knight. However, those that Fightful spoke to or haven't heard that he's close to a return. In fact, they've heard the opposite. Fightful Select reported that Jay White has been dealing with a shoulder injury, and sources in the company have said that White has been weighing whether or not to get shoulder surgery. They haven't heard if that decision was made. If so, it's possible he'd miss the rest of the year. The Bang Bang Gang has been plagued with injuries and hasn't all been healthy at the same time for quite some time. Juice Robinson hasn't been healthy. He just came back from injury, but then Colton Gunn was immediately sidelined, while also out of action in the summer of 2024 was Jay White. Switchblade has not been at AEW tapings as of yet. We want to send our thoughts and thoughts and prayers to Jay White that he can recover quickly, because damn, out for the rest of the year. He's too good. He's too good.
Yeah. Someone put a hex on the whole team. Like, back-to-back injuries for Juice, and then he comes back, and then the Colton, like, they can't win. Like, the whole faction is just like I keep telling you, someone's putting a hex on wrestling. Nobody wants us to be great. They see how popular we are. We see that we're like momentum, like they see how big it is, and they don't want us to like, we run all year round. Like there's no breaks.
Yeah.
And
speaking of which, Colton Gunn is out of action with the Guns, thus unable to compete in the just announced AEW World Tag Team Title Eliminator Tournament. It was announced on AEW Dynamite that due to his injury, the team will not be part of the tournament. Fightful Select reports that the Guns were planned for the tournament before the injury. AEW did not publicly announce the teams on Dynamite's reveal, and the site reports that AEW wanted to give Colton the chance to be ready for the tournament, but it does not look like that's going to happen. On behalf of THH, our best wishes to Colton Gunn as well as Jay White.
Yes, absolutely, for sure.
Guns, man, Bang Bang Gang, we need y'all back. We need y'all back, please. A new report had some details on Deonna Purrazzo's contract status. Purrazzo hasn't appeared on AEW TV since the June 21st episode of ROH, leading to some to speculate on whether her contract is coming up. Fightful Select reported that Purrazzo still has plenty of time left on the deal. According to the outlet, Purrazzo is on a 3-year deal that runs through 2026, meaning that it would be up at the start of 2027. Purrazzo was not in Dallas for StarCast or AEW All In, and when asked, people in the company said that it was because her booking was affected by injuries to others, which led to ROH Women's Pure Championship tournament being delayed. The tournament was intended to conclude at Supercard of Honor, but obviously that did not end up happening. So
yeah,
they got to figure out what they're doing with Deonna.
But yeah, she's gotten the shit under the stick. Like you something that was a good, like, person that was the sign over, and she just lost in the back. Like
lost in the sauce, lost in the back.
And I know you just focus on like your main girls, the Willows, the Chris's, the Tonys, the Mercedes. But you have other girls that are in the background that needs to be pushed as well. Like you can I'm not saying make her a mid-carder, but she's probably going to be the mid-carder since you have all the other girls that's like in the forefront. But still, nevertheless, she should be able to be on TV. Like she could have been on ROH like a lot. Like like fill it.
If you can't use her for the Pure title tournament, use her somewhere else. Just figure it out.
Correct. That's what I'm. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And then finally, for the first time in the brief history of the event, AEW Wrestle Dream will take place outside of Washington State. It will take place in St. Louis on October 18th. The pre-sale for the tickets was beginning this coming Thursday, and this marks the first time the October event has moved location since its inception. AEW now just has 2 remaining pay-per-views this year without an announced date or location, with Full Gear in November and World's End in December. Upcoming AEW pay-per-views include Forbidden Door in August from London and All Out in September from Toronto. And St. Louis was the home of Dynasty in last year in 2024, which saw Swerve Strickland becoming AEW World Champion and a match between Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson. In more pay-per-view news, AEW announced another date change for Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor. The show was originally set for September 5th, but now happens on August 29th. It will still be taking place from the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, which is going to be a residency for the company. This is the second time the date has changed. It was originally set for July 11th, but was moved after Supercard of Honor was rescheduled. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the shift was made due to scheduling conflict involving Tony Khan, who is known for his consistent presence at TV tapings and major events. Khan had a prior commitment to attend a wedding on the original date, making it impossible for September 5th. To ensure his involvement, the show was moved up by 1 week. It is part of the residency that's going to start in August for AEW at the 2300 Arena, coming up starting on August 27th. But speaking of Ring of Honor, the show this week featured Nick Wayne beating Gringo Loco in a solid ROH TV title Proving Ground main event. You also had the Outrunners. They picked up a win over the Work Horsemen, as they've been undefeated on ROH TV for over a year now. But moving over to the partners of AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling had the G1 Climax 35 tournament week 2. Week 1 finishing up this week. Day 2 was last Sunday. That featured Tai Chi defeating Yuya Uemura in a great main event in the A block. You had Evil picked up a win over Tsuji in the A block. Great Okan pulled off an upset over Shingo Takagi in his first victory over him. Boltin Oleg beat Roye Uyawa in a solid matchup, while David Finlay defeated Sanada in the A block. El Phantasmo defeated Konosuke Takeshita in a superb encounter in the B block, which was ELP's first victory over Takeshita in 4 tries. Day 3 was earlier this week, featuring A block action. Tai Chi picking up a win over David Finlay in a terrific bout. Yet Sanada beat Evil in a House of Torture derby of shenanigans. Roye Uyawa beat Callum Newman in a solid bout, while Boltin Oleg scored his biggest victory yet over Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Yota Tsuji defeated Yuya Uemura in a fantastic main event, which is arguably one of the best matches these two have had against each other and one of the best matches of the tournament so far. Speaking of which, day 4 featured B block action with Shota Umino beat Zack Sabre Jr. in another excellent main event that blew their Wrestle Kingdom 19 headliner out the water. Yet Yoshihashi picked up a win over Drilla Maloney. Ren Narita scored a victory over another champion, this time over NJPW World Television Champion El Phantasmo, while Konosuke Takeshita defeated Great Okan in a great semi-main event. Day 5 was on Friday with A block action. Yota Tsuji defeated Roye Uyawa in another great matchup. Bolton Oleg scored a win over Sanada. Yuya Uemura got back on the winning track with a win over Callum Newman in a solid bout, while Evil beat Tai Chi with some House of Torture nonsense. Hiroshi Tanahashi defeated David Finlay in a damn good main event as well. And then you had day 6 this morning, which might be one of the best nights of the tournament so far. B block action, as you had Zack Sabre Jr. beating El Phantasmo in a brilliant bout that saw the two champions go toe to toe. Ren Narita picked up a win, his first win over Shota Umino. The Great Okan scored a win over Yoshihashi in a fine matchup. And then in what's been the match of the tournament so far, Konosuke Takeshita defeated Shingo Takagi in an absolutely sensational main event that may just go down as the best match of the tournament overall, but also most likely is a certified instant classic that could be one of the very best matches of the year so far. I said it on Twitter. I'll say it here. I felt like I took a shot of adrenaline and I was still shaking after the match was over. Look at the sell of the finish when he chokes him out and Shingo Takagi's eyes just bulge out of his head. This shit was awesome. I literally...
Does Takeshita have like a hot girl summer? Because I feel like he's like everywhere all over this summer. He's just win after win after win.
It's the last 2 years. Every time he comes to the G1, he just goes to another level. He's like a Pokemon that evolves.
You said this is his last 2 years?
Yeah, last year he was in the G1 for the first time last year, and then this year he's been killing it again.
Okay.
Yeah. So definitely, I would say that's like the one match from the G1. I'm telling everybody since this morning, go out of your way to watch it. I messaged y'all at what had to been like 4:30 y'all time. I was like, y'all need to watch this fucking match. Oh my god. Oh my god. They just went out here and just delivered it. I knew it would be great. I didn't expect it to be like one of the best matches of the year.
Awesome.
I was like, yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. It's unreal. People are calling it unbelievable. It's just hard hitting. It's physical. It's got the nice story. It had the hot crowd behind them as well. It was just another level. Level. Okay. Like literally, yeah. This was the line. This was the line by Walker Stewart on commentary. After the match was over, he says, "I could run through a wall right now, Chris." Walker Stewart after that matchup. Like everybody was just like, wow. That was unreal. That was amazing.
So it's like a 5-star match.
Yes, yeah, I would say so.
Easy.
I put it down on my tracker. I was like, yep, 5 stars. That instantly, I was like, that goes up there. That's fine. But yeah, the unfortunate news is that Gabe Kidd has been pulled from the G1 Climax tournament after his match with Konosuke Takeshita last Saturday. He suffered a knee injury that has pulled him from the tournament. He had to announce that on Friday that he's forfeiting the rest of his matches in the tournament due to a knee injury.
Oh,
a knee injury.
Man. Damn. So I keep the Hex, man. So the Hex is strong. The Vertex, yo.
It's all these Bullet Club members. All these Bullet Club members getting injured. What's up with the Bullet Club right now? Is the Bullet Club jinx?
It gotta be. It has to be. I don't understand.
Jesus, you might be onto something. There is a hex going on, a hex or a curse, whatever you want to call it.
It's something.
Oh man.
Well, get well, prayers and get well soon to him. Just like Jay White, all the rest of them that's just like suffering and just like need rest and doing those things.
Yeah, it's in summer, man. That's the midway point of the year, so you're gonna see this is usually when the injuries start piling up for people. It seems.
You know what? You're right. It is true. Like we're at like almost. We're gonna be at month 8, and like we're the year is already like passing us, running past us, and whew.
We're already at the end of fucking July. Like it's crazy.
No, it's fucking.
Mm-hmm. I'm already thinking about matches of the year and stuff, year-end content. Well, we're going to touch on Stardom as well. Like we said earlier, their 5-star Grand Prix, their G1 is starting this coming week, but they had 2 big shows this week. They had Sapporo Rendezvous, which was on Monday. That show featured Saya Kamatani beating Natsupoi in a marvelous main event to retain the World of Stardom Championship. They also had Starlight Kid. She picked up a win over Sari Anoi in another fabulous bout to retain the Wonder of Stardom Championship. Stardom Nighter in Kurgan was on Thursday. That show featured Azumi retaining the NJPW Strong Women's Championship in her first defense over Bozilla in her first singles match for Stardom in a wonderful David versus Goliath style matchup. You also had Hate picked up a win over Saray, Kanai, and Chi-Chi in a Rock Solid Trios matchup, and then Hate defeated Wing Gory in the main event to win the Goddess of Stardom Championship, the tag team titles over in Stardom. And then since we're doing all things Japan, you also had Noah 25th anniversary, which had some big title changes. First, you had the show on last Saturday, which featured Yohei beating Hayata in a damn good semi-main event to retain the Junior Heavyweight Championship of Noah. Post-match, NJPW's Hiromu Takahashi appeared to challenge him for the title. Then you had Keno pulled off a surprising knockout win over Ozawa to become the new GAC heavyweight champion. Post-match, Keno was challenged his tag team partner Kenta to a title match the day following in Kurgan Hall, which saw Kenta win the GAC heavyweight championship in a hard-hitting, splendid main event to win the title for the first time in over 10 years. Kenta's still doing big thing. Kenta's having a hot girl summer. You could say.
Oh, okay. Cool. He looks great.
Having a hot girl summer. And then you also had RevPro Summer Sizzler. That was yesterday in the UK, which is another partner of AEW because AEW's partners with everybody. The show featured Mercedes Moné defeating Sapphire Reed to retain the RevPro Undisputed British Women's Championship. You had Tetsuya Naito and Bushi of Los Tranquilos de Japón picked up a win over Kieran Lacey and Mark True. And then you had Beast Morto secured a win over Robbie X, and Ricky Knight Jr. beat Michael Oku to win the RevPro Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship in a shocking win, which I think is going to set up Michael Oku coming to AEW, which has been talked about for like over a year now. So,
interesting. Okay. Listen.
We'll see about that.
Just don't get people lost in translation in the back. That's it.
Please use these people. If you're going to sign them, just use them. That's all we ask.
That's it. No, but then you're giving Dustin Rhodes all the damn belts. But you know,
you had to throw in the Dustin line, did you? you held that in. You was holding that in, right?
Can't talk about Zoe, so I can talk about him now. You know.
And Mercedes always doing big things. Mercedes. I love the fact she came out with all 6 of her belts, and it was great. She had it on like each side. She had her CMLL title on the side. So when the announcer announced that she's the CMLL Women's Champion, she twerked with it on her ass
because it was on the back.
That's part of the show. And then CMLL had their Venice Espectacular last night, which had one of their best matches of the year, Neon defeating Mascarada Dorada to win the Torre La Lenanda de la Plata 2025 tournament. And then you also had Mystico. He picked up a victory over Hechicero in a lightning matchup between 2 guys who have been featured on AEW a whole lot as of late. That is all for what we missed. We made it through everything. And now we get to Krssi Luv's favorite part of the show. Best and worst of the week, match of the week, and moment of the week. Miss Krssi Luv, who was your best and worst of the week?
Best of the week? That's hard. Ain't nobody really have a good week this week. Maybe I'll give it to the G1.
Fair.
No one had a good week.
My best of the week was Takeshita and Shingo.
Okay, that's fair. G1, part of the G1. So yeah. Worst. Hulk Hogan fans being in denial.
I didn't want to touch on that again, so I went LOL TNA.
Okay, that's fair. TNA being suckers. Yep, that's fair. Worst of the week. Yep. Basically taking their companies getting taken away from them like right underneath their feet. So right before their eyes. But they're allowing it, so it's fine.
Yeah, they're just taking it. They just take it up the ass and they don't ask some other questions.
Taking it up
Moment of the week, I'm gonna give it to Kenta winning the GHC heavyweight championship. I'm happy for Kenta. He's back home and he's doing his thing.
Give it to Mercedes.
Fair. Also fair. And then matches of the week, I numbered it down to 15 again. Because I watched a whole lot of wrestling.
That's fine. Because you watch all the G1 stuff, that's why.
Exactly. This is gonna be hard every week because of the G1. Honorable mentions. I got Dorada, Bandito, and Jet Speed versus Callis family from Collision. I got Takeshita versus Okan from the G1 and Tanahashi versus Finley from the G1. Number 15 got Tsuji versus Oyowa from the G1 Day 5. Number 14, Kenta versus Keno from Noah's 25th anniversary. 13, Taichi versus Finley from G1 Night 3, I believe that was. Then you got Taichi versus Uemura from Night 2 from last Sunday at number 12. Number 11, Azumi versus Bozilla from Stardom Sapporo Rendezvous. Number 10, Leon Slater versus Moose from Slammiversary. Number 9, Starlight Kid versus Saray from Sapporo Rendezvous for Stardom. Then number 8, Saya Kamatani versus Natsupoi from Stardom Sapporo Rendezvous. This is 7. 7. I messed up. 7. So yeah, the Saya and Natsupoi was 8. 7 is ELP versus Takeshita from the G1. Number 6, Shota Umino versus Zack Sabre Jr. from the G1. Number 5, Zack Sabre Jr. versus ELP from this morning's G1. Number 4, FTR versus Jet Speed from Dynamite. Number 3, Tsuji versus Uemura from the G1. Number 2, Neon versus Dorada from CMLL. And number 1, Takeshita versus Shingo from this morning's G1.
I have 3. You just 3, Moose versus Leon Slater. 2, Ali versus Cedric, and then 1, FTR versus what's the name? What's that group
Jet
name
Speed.
again? Jet Speeds, yes.
Good one.
So that's my 3.
I like it.
Again, there's not much wrestling for us to like.
You got to start watching G1. Have your climax every day, like me. We've made it to the end of another edition of our flagship podcast. We appreciate y'all for joining us live and appreciate a lot of our chat having a great layered conversation about the passing away of Hulk Hogan. Appreciate all your thoughts, your comments, and your super chats that we got on today's show. And of course, Top Guy JJ and the Tru Draw Josh joining us as well. Miss Krssi Luv, want to give you the floor. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media and when they shall see you again.
Hey guys, so I'll be back next week with you guys again for our show. I guess we'll let you know if it's going to be at 10 or 11. But
probably at 10.
Probably at 10. I think the 10 o'clock runs better for everybody. But
yeah.
Other than that, Krssi Luv _1. Tru Heel Krssi Luv is just my name. And yeah, that's it. I'll be back with SP. We'll be doing our other reviews on our other shows soon. So yep.
Yeah, we got to talk. We can figure out because we got BMF to review. We see Shy's gonna end this week. Shy ends on next Friday. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about.
Sick of Lala on both. I'm sick of Lala on both shows. Actually, I'm sick of them.
Fair.
Her man on the Shy. I can't remember his name, but they're annoying. Huh?
Jamal.
They're annoying. And then her on BMF. I want to just stab her. Like. Like you're not family. You want to be a part of this so bad. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SB3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat. Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best place to support us when we are not live here. I'm going to be live in like 2 minutes for members of the channel because we did promise y'all a Q&A. So if you have any questions, any thoughts that you want to ask me, I'll be live for like 10-15 minutes taking any of your questions. If you're a member of the channel, hit the join button, and for $1 a month you can become a member and be a part of our live stream. We've been having a lot of content from members as of late, so we'll have our Q&A following this episode, and maybe I'll talk some other news bits that we didn't touch on during the podcast, so join us for that. And patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content, and we'll have plenty of content over there as well. I will be back live tomorrow night here on this channel. We'll be dropping a THH cut tomorrow, but I'll be live on Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment, probably the evening time around 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern, where me and the Stat King will be discussing Superman, because I finally saw it. I avoided 2 weeks of spoilers so we could finally talk about it on Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment. So join us over there.
I saw it and it was,
I thought it was really good. It was really good. Especially Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is the man.
I thought that he was like really good. Yes, they picked a good guy for him. He looked just like he embodied him. I feel like yes.
Absolutely. But yes, hit the subscribe button if you are new, and of course join us next Saturday for our SummerSlam pre-show party edition of the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast. Right. It'll be me and Krssi Luv. We might be having a special guest, so stay tuned for that. But for Krssi, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3, and of course, we want to send our condolences to TNA. This has been Tru Heel Heat 339. When it comes crashing down, we are signing off until next time.
Laters. Look at Mike Santana's face. Poor thing.